Good morning, everybody. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I appreciate y'all being here. We are heading over to Teldrassil. And I think I'm going to actually go to, like, the small starting hub before we do, like, the main area of Teldrassil. And the reason being is, like, in the low-level area, I feel like we stand a better chance to get bags. And I'd like to find a couple more bags. And then at some point we need to pick up fishing and we need to pick up cooking. So we need to do that as well. Ryan, good morning. Buffalo Bill, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. Good morning, Mallory. David, good morning. Jason, thanks for being here. You were checking out the dungeons from last night? Jason, you know what? Besides the first one, I had a lot of fun. Besides TOC, I had a lot of fun, and I'm going to do some more today. You know, all my complaining aside about how, like, the tank didn't want to wait for me to have mana, you know, they died that one time. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I like those a lot. I'm kind of hoping I can persuade, like, more tanks to go slowly by, you know, letting them run ahead and die when I'm out of mana. That seemed to be a pretty good persuasive argument for letting the healer get mana back. So besides that, though, they were awesome. Yeah. Auntie, good evening. District 13, thanks for being here and checking out the stream. I appreciate it. To be fair, Mallory, you just knew it was morning for me. Yeah, you were just thinking about me. In TOC, Jason, where I didn't know any of the mechanics. Yeah. Yep, I didn't remember any of them, and then I realized that, like, TOC, even the 5-man, it kind of feels like raid mechanics. It doesn't feel like other 5-mans, and so, like, that was, like, the worst way for me to start. The worst start to those beta dungeons was, like, yeah, was starting there. So, like, I'm glad that I persisted enough to, like, try a different run. Because at first I was just kind of done with it. But then I thought, you know, I better try, like, a dungeon that I'm actually familiar with, and then I should judge it based on that. I still feel like ultimately the heroic plus just makes it really hard for healers. For the most part, you know. Like, there's stuff that the DPS have to do to avoid damage. But even if they're doing that successfully, they're still taking lots of damage. So, yeah. And I feel like all tanks are like that, Jason. I feel like it's not just going to be that tank. I feel like a lot of people who do that content, they come over from, like, Mythic Plus in retail. And so my worry is that it's not going to just be that tank. It's going to be most tanks, I think. Especially keeping in mind, like, I don't know how long the beta dungeons have been out, but everybody's gear score is, like, much higher than mine. I'm like 4,200. Everyone else is like 47, 48, 5,000. And so I feel like, you know, they've probably done it a bunch, you know, and they're probably just kind of used to going fast, but yeah, I feel like with the lack of healers that exist in the game, it's like, you definitely just want to watch the healers' mana. You definitely, and then the funniest part was, like, when they all died, like, they did not even realize that I didn't die. They were standing at the entrance of the dungeon wondering where I was at, and I was at the spot where they'd all died. That was, like, the hilarious part. I want to maybe grab this flight point. We don't need it yet. Let's head in. Eric, good morning. Auntie for the rogue, I don't know, probably combat. You know, we'll take a look when we open up the talents, but it'll probably be combat spec. Mallory, you're feeling burned out too? Of the hardcore? Yeah, like, solo self-found, I need a break. I need a break, and it's about experiencing, like, the parts of the game that I can't experience in solo self-found. Or as we're calling it, solo not found. That's how we're affectionately referring to it from now on. I want to pick, I don't have a lot of silver. I'd love to pick up skinning. We could pick up skinning and leatherworking on the way out of town. We don't have to do it here. And then cooking we can also pick up somewhere, I think. Although if we go to the true starting area, we're not going to be able to skin the stuff there anyway. I don't think it's skinnable. Yeah, Jason, I never figured out what they were doing. I feel like it's like they just waited for me at the beginning of the run, even though everything was cleared. At first, I thought they were going back to do the boss we skipped, but that's not where they were at. For some reason, they were just waiting for me at the entrance, maybe to rebuff. I don't know. But yeah, they didn't even realize that I had not died. That they didn't realize that they had they didn't know why they died. That was the weirdest part, is like, they didn't blame me. You know, they were like, oh damn, where was the healer? What happened? Like, they didn't even know. They ran off. They didn't get a single heal. They got killed. They all died. I didn't die. And then they just were wondering where I was at. Like, what happened to the healer? Is he coming? Like, yeah, I'm already here. I didn't get killed. You guys ran off like idiots. I had 0 mana. It was fun though. I liked it. I hope I get that experience with every tank, so that I can educate every single tank that I group with about how to actually just look at the healer's mana from time to time and maybe stop pulling if they don't have any. And it's like, I keep my mana going for a little while, but like in those plus runs, when people do get hit, you just have to give them like your biggest heal, and you got to keep doing that. So yeah, it was interesting. But I did really like them. I'm gonna do more some point today. Justin, good morning. Thanks for being here. Let's pop into the Skinners over here and just see how much it costs. I think it's like a silver each, right? I did, in all transparency, I sent myself a little bit of silver from another character that I have on Mankrik. I hope everyone is okay with that. It's not, you know, I need a little bit of silver. I sent like 50 silver over. I don't have it yet because it takes an hour to mail yourself stuff in Classic Era. But yeah, I do very much want to have a little bit of silver to get professions and to start things going. Oh, it's only 10 copper for leatherworking. Is it the secondary professions that cost more? And also, oh, here we go. Here's the Skinner. Yeah, the secondary ones cost more. That's hilarious. Alright, so these are... It's going to be fishing and cooking that set us back.
Farewell.
It's against the spirit of Classic. I think like mailing yourself stuff from alts is like in the very fabric of World of Warcraft. I think it's like... It's inherent in the design to like send yourself stuff to help yourself out early on. It would be against the spirit of hardcore, yeah. Monica, good morning. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I think I am going to go up into this area here, and we'll do like the very beginning stuff. It's probably not going to get us a lot of experience, but it might get us bags. So that would be good. And see, Vic, I could send myself bags too. I have bags I can send over. Like, I purposely didn't send myself bags. Yeah, because I feel you. Like, I didn't want to give myself too much stuff. I think I sent some silver, and I might have sent a little bit of leather. But I had some 8-slot bags, and I was like, And I was like, nah, I'll let the character find their own bags and kind of make their own luck. But the little bit of silver, you know, with wanting to jump into like professions, I want to be able to do. I'm kind of like, I want to do cooking and fishing, obviously, because now that's kind of a thing that I do. I just wanted to have the money to afford all the patterns and stuff. I'm not gonna grab, you know, I'll grab her quest because sometimes she's hard to find. We're not gonna do it right now, but I will. I'll grab it just so we have it when we come out here. Agent Dad, why play a female dwarf? Why not? In real life, I'm a 6'4" human male, so you know that's fine. So I'm playing a dwarf. I think we did a poll. Did we do a poll for this one? No, we didn't. Nope, this one was all me. Yeah. I'm sorry if female dwarfs offend you.
What brings you here?
But yeah, I'm not gonna grab any of this. I want to move on. Let's grab cooking and fishing, or at least I see cooking. I don't see fishing. It looks like the only place. Oh wait, nope, all the way in Darnassus. Well, damn. I wish I'd have known that. I thought they'd have somewhere out here to do it. Usually you can get fishing like somewhere out in the world, not just in the main city. Vic, there is, man. There's what, 6.4 centimeters? Yeah, I'm in America. We measure things in feet. Yeah, there's always somebody who wants to know, and that's fine. And people want to know from like different places. You know, that the question always comes from a different place depending on the person asking it. And usually I can get a pretty good sense like right away if it comes from like a place of innocent curiosity, or if they're driving at something. This is the driving at something type. Yeah. Yeah, I don't do centimeters because yeah, I'm in the States, so we do inches and feet, and I don't know centimeters at all. It's bad. I don't know my metric system. I can barely math or measure as it is. Clint, good morning, man. Thanks for being here. Freedom units. Freedom. I've never heard that one. Freedom units. Script, good afternoon, man. Thanks for stopping by. I think it's over 9,000 centimeters. It's got to be. 6'4" is 195 centimeters. It sounds small. 6'4" sounds bigger. 195 centimeters doesn't even make sense. Why so few centimeters? Why not more centimeters? Centimeters are tiny. I feel like it's got to be like at least 9,000 centimeters. Yeah. Are they still doing the fishing tournament in Booty Bay? I don't know. Now that I'm kind of like an amateur fisher, I should kind of like look at if there are any events like that actually happen, because that would be cool, and I'm not sure. Only gnomes measure in millimeters. Yeah, they have to, because otherwise they're like 12 centimeters tall, and that's pathetic. So yeah. The units of the oppressor. That's entertaining. Yeah, it's 0.0023 parsecs, right?
Can I assist you?
I don't metric it. Absolutely, Amy's right.
Goodbye.
Yeah. If I did know what a centimeter was, I'd pretend like I didn't know, just to be belligerent about it. Absolutely. Yeah, we round up to the nearest half inch. You know, there are no centimeters.
Farewell.
Vic, yeah, they have to, because they have to communicate with other scientists and stuff. That's the thing, is like, yeah, us lay people use our system, like the standard system or whatever, the freedom units, but scientists have to talk to other scientists, and sometimes they even have to make things with other scientists. And it turns out when like one set of scientists is working with the metric system and one is not, like shit can go wrong. Didn't one of the Mars rovers crash back in the day because like the scientists were using two different sets of metrics in their calculations? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we lost an entire space robot to metric system standard confusion. Yep, I think that happened. It would have been a long time ago. It would have been like, it was like one of the first of the robots that we were sending there. And like, I think it was something about the landing trajectory they miscalculated, so like it just buried itself in the freaking dirt. I would say Earth, but it's Mars. It buried itself in the Mars, just deep into the Mars. Completely buried itself upon entry, because of a little miscommunication about what measurements we were using.
Hi.
After that multi-billion-dollar loss, they probably all agreed that they would just use the metric system going forward. NASA's Mars Climate Orbiter 1999. David, nice, man, nice. I told you guys it was a long time ago. Yep, 1999. I was a kid that was really interested in space and really excited for like the space age and really excited to have like colonies on Mars and on the moon and stuff. So I like followed stuff like that when I was a kid. I was so disappointed when it crashed because I thought we were gonna get like amazing new like overhead pictures and like video and stuff like that. And it took so long to get robots there. You wait for like 2 years for the robot to get there and then it crashes and burns immediately. It's like, well, that was anticlimactic. JBG, I don't know the answer to that question because I don't watch the human news. And even if I did watch the human news and even if I knew a lot about it, I couldn't talk about it here. YouTube doesn't like that thing. I don't like being political. I don't like talking about things that I don't have a full grasp of and like just not really the platform. But to be fair, like I don't watch human news, so I don't know. But I think that like what I know for a fact is that war is bad, and it doesn't matter why. And it doesn't matter when. People dying is bad, and that's really all that I care about. I don't care about any of the other stuff. It's always bad, period, you know? We have space robots, so I know there's another way. I know there's a way besides war, because we have space robots. So, I mean, give me a break. Yeah, like you can talk about stuff like that on YouTube, but you gotta click a special box saying that you're going to, and like basically, yeah, there's like a limit to what you can and cannot say. I wouldn't say YouTube is censored, but yeah, it's pretty well locked down. Yeah, they should absolutely do like esports tournaments, yeah. And then like settle it that way. You know, that way you don't have to blow up any buildings full of civilians on accident or purpose, you know. Appoint a champion. Remember when we used to like people used to appoint a champion? Appoint a champion, have them battle to the death. That's fine. Just a little 1v1. Yeah, I like the appoint a champion version of war. Like, we don't go to war. If we're gonna go to war, we just appoint a champion. And then whoever wins, that's it. That settles the dispute. JB, you're fine, man. You're fine. What it precludes me from doing is, like, let's say I had a lot of opinions about this topic. YouTube would preclude me from really talking too much about those opinions, especially if the opinions were extreme, and especially if the opinions were not backed up by facts. That's kind of what YouTube watches out for. Like, if I were to go on an hour rant about it, and I were, like, making shit up that was, like, not true to push my agenda forward, then, like, YouTube gets all over stuff like that. You know? Sheldon, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you coming by and checking out the stream. Yeah, it would bring the vibe way down. Absolutely. The Grell. I need the Grell. Yeah. Okay, these guys actually give a little bit of kill XP. We're kind of just here doing these intro quests as a way to maybe get some bags. And just to spend a little time while people have a chance to see the stream is up. Normally I'd be fishing during this time, but we don't have fishing or cooking yet on this character, so there has been no fishing today, unfortunately. I know you guys probably like were really sad when you came into the stream and I wasn't fishing, but we don't have it yet. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see that go into my inventory. It was like a ghost. It's cursed. I didn't even see it get picked up. Oh my god. Oh no. It's not hardcore, so. Hey, I asked for a bag, and I immediately got a bag. I mean, I wasn't specific enough with the universe. I wasn't like, universe, give me a blue bag. I was like, I need a bag, and the universe was like, okay. And it gave me a black bag. so. Yeah, it wasn't the first. That's right, we got a red bag, so like I feel like it's fine. I don't mind it. I didn't even know about the curse thing until I was playing hardcore. I think it is only really a thing in hardcore, and I'm not very superstitious anyway. What I know for a fact is that I asked for a bag and I got a bag. I believe in that. That's what I believe in. Yeah, we've had a little bit of luck with projecting stuff into the game. It's harder with like specific weapons, but well, we've had a little bit of luck getting stuff. We did get a two-handed axe once upon a time on the paladin when we needed it. We just never got anything ever again. I blame myself for like lack of mental focus. If I was better at like forming and projecting those ideas, like, we'd probably get a lot more loot. It turns out it's hard to talk, play, and project images to the universe at the same time. I think if we clear all the quests here, we'll probably get at least one more bag. I have to think with how quick that one dropped. I think we got like a green bag coming to us, I think. Yeah, Mallory, it's sad that it took me so long to like come to that conclusion. Because it's kind of like, it's an obvious thing once you like realize it. It's like obviously how it works. But it took me so long to really like, not, maybe even to accept it. Maybe a part of me always kind of knew. And I feel like people have like said that to me before in the past maybe. But yeah, it took a long time, and then I realized, yeah, spell ranks are guaranteed increased damage upon leveling. Otherwise, you need a weapon that's never going to drop in solo not found hardcore. So yeah, it kind of, it made me rethink a lot of things, and it simultaneously like made me lose all steam for the game type, because I realized both of my characters are melee. Paladin and Warrior, having a lot of fun on the Warrior, but guess what? Guess what's going to happen? It's going to have the same problems. Yeah, it's going to have the same problems. Even if we get lucky once, we get lucky twice, we get a weapon here and there, eventually we're going to be level 47, and we're not going to have a good weapon. Exactly, melee classes are my favorite, and that's how we ended up here. That thought process led me right back to just vanilla, non-hardcore. Because yeah, I was starting to feel like, I got on the mage for a minute, and I was like, okay, I guess I have to roll a mage. And then I was like, I don't have to do anything specifically. And that's how we got here. I would think I'd rather wear the pants than the shorts. Yeah, we'll keep our pants on. There we go. What else did we get? Anything we can equip? Probably not. Not here. Alright, let's go vendor. I still need night sabers. Here, let's kill the night sabers. Okay, our weapon is orange. It's our starting weapon, right? Yeah, it's like, I feel like the starting weapons have basically no durability.
I am listening.
I've noticed that recently, that the starting weapons go yellow like really quick.
Farewell.
Yeah, Script, I feel like it's less of a problem on the hardcore servers. The weapon thing, because like you can do some more dungeons and that's fine, but listen to this argument. So think about where we're at on the Paladin. The Paladin is level 47. There are approximately 1/3 of a player also level 47 in the entire place. Anytime we're online, there's like 1/3 of a player playing. besides us. That's like a weird statistic, but bear with me. The point is that there's nobody. There's nobody at level. And so you guys saw how hard it was to put a group together for Ragefire Chasm, okay? We spent 2 hours looking for a group for Ragefire Chasm, which is the first dungeon you can do on either faction. It's the dungeon that you can get into before anything else. And so if there already aren't enough people making it to like level 15 to do Ragefire Chasm, if it takes 2 hours to find a healer and a tank, then like that part of it's not going to be different, I don't think. I'm looking for the rogue trainer here. Oh, she's back here. That part's not going to be different. Does that make sense? And so we'll be able to buy stuff on the auction house, but also consider this. The auction house is going to hit the same limiting factor. The stuff on the auction house is going to be limited by people that are higher level getting green drops, getting blue drops. And as the level goes up, there are less and less people who are alive. And so if we're looking on the auction house at level 47 for a level 47 weapon, we still might not find one. Because there might not be a lot of level 47 people grinding stuff enough to get BOE drops to put them on the auction house to sell to us. So I feel like if you get to a high level, you might in fact just be in the same exact situation. Despite that you could do dungeons, despite that you could use the auction house, you're probably not going to be able to find groups. And you're probably not going to have a lot of options on the auction house that aren't like really, really steeply priced. And that actually, see, I had to follow this thought process all the way through because I thought the same thing. I thought like, well, official hardcore not going to matter. We're gonna have dungeons, or we're gonna have the auction house. It's gonna be amazing. It's not. And then imagine you find a blue bind on equip at level 45. You're gonna put it up for like 200 gold. You know what I mean? Because it's incredibly valuable. If you find like a blue two-handed axe and you're a mage, you don't need it. You're putting it up for 200 gold, 300 gold, some obscene amount. Because eventually somebody's going to grind for that weapon because they're going to need it. So it's going to be super expensive. Yeah, Clint has it. Blacksmithing is the only like kind of option. Yes. And then the good thing is like at low level you'll be able to use the auction house to get a lot of copper, because copper is the stopping force of blacksmithing. You need so much copper because you need copper for the copper stuff, but then you need copper for the bronze stuff, and by the time you're doing bronze you're not around copper anymore. So you gotta go back and get copper, like it's, you know, but you could buy copper, so yeah, like, blacksmithing could help. Absolutely. What's my favorite mostly played race, gender? That's too many combos, I wouldn't know that. I'd have to have a spreadsheet, Bond, to parse any of that. My favorite class is Warrior, followed by Rogue and Mage in some order. Rogue and Mage change depending on who I'm playing. As far as like favorite races, I can just say like I'm not a big fan of the Horde races. I can rule things out because I like all the races. But I don't like the races that can't show their boots. Like if I'm on a Tauren, I can't see my boots. If I'm on a Troll, I can't see my boots. I hate how the undead show their bones and how their sleeves kind of just float there even when they're wearing robes. But yeah, but everybody else I'm fine with. Are the cats skinnable? Not in the starting areas, I don't think. I don't have a skinning knife anyway, but in the starting areas, I don't think the creatures are skinnable. Are they? Yeah, it's always been my understanding that they're not. Until level 5, I think. I think until level 5 they're not skinnable. Yeah. That's kind of why I didn't stop and get a skinning knife, because I didn't think it would matter for a little bit. No, Alex, we did it on stream last night. I'm pretty sure, guys, we did the wetlands run on stream. Yeah, we did it on stream. We died like 5 times? 4 times? We died sometimes, yeah. But we got here. Ah, yes, Stoneform. Twisted, thanks for reminding me. I have to get that out to my bar. Absolutely. Immunity to bleed, poison, disease effects. In addition, armor increased by 10%. I mean, for the Night Elf area, for 11:30 in the morning on a Tuesday, that's quite a few people. I'll take it. It's probably equivalent of what would be on Bloodsail Buccaneers. I bet there are less people in the Night Elf area on Bloodsail Buccaneers. Yeah, Mallory, that's true. We'll be able to group up. Yeah, you know, that might help some people live longer. Maybe more people will get into the 40s because they'll be in groups most of the time. Yeah, and I feel like grouping won't be limited to Elite Quest. I feel like, yeah, like if I see somebody in the same area as me and we seem to be doing the same quest, I'm gonna toss them an invite. And the other problem is like just being able to tag them, like just having to wait to tag them. It makes it easier when you can form a 5-man group and then like one of you has to tag it. It's like it gets people credit faster. Like there doesn't have to be 7,000 people waiting for Garrick Padfoot. Just like 7,000 divided by 5. That's all we need waiting for Garrick.
What brings you here? Goddess, watch over you.
Yeah, we killed Hogger at level 15. We killed Varash or Valrash, the one in Dunmorrow, the Yeti. We killed him at level 14 or 15 on the warrior. I basically wonder if like all you're gonna see is like roving groups of like 5 people, and like are they limiting it? Because like you can't get quest credit when you're in a raid group, right? Like if you make your group into a raid, you can't get quest credit, can you? I know you won't get kill experience at that point. It'd be split too many ways, but like I hope that you can't form a raid and still get credit for quests. Because then I just imagine like 40-man roving groups of people, like filtering people in and out, you know? Ugh. You can't. Okay, thank God. Yeah. Okay, so we'll see groups of 5. You'll probably see lots of people just running around in groups, essentially. Which is good. I don't mind it. It's going to be different. It's almost going to make it like, since it's hardcore and you can group, it makes it so that like one of the survival tactics would be to always be grouped. You know what I mean? That kind of changes, like rule number 1 becomes always try to be grouped. You know, because ultimately you're grouped up, you're going to have a higher chance of survival. So it's interesting. Like, I don't think I'm going to try to form, like, a pre-made group for myself, but I'm definitely going to be inviting people, like, all over the place. If we're doing a quest, I'm going to be trying to invite people to the group. It's going to change hardcore a lot. It's going to feel very different. At this point, I'm very much okay with that. And, like, the ability to group up will mean that more people get to live longer. without being trapped, like playing in a duo is so rough because like you have to play at the same time, always logged in together. It's like how many people have situations where they can actually do that? Like not everybody, for sure. Sideaway, good evening. Thanks for being here. You'll think they'll put a cooldown on the invite to party button. That's funny. That'd be a funny way to handle it. No, I think they know what people are going to do, and I obviously they've thought it all through, you know. It's not, they're not going to wake up and be like, oh wait, if people can group, they'll live longer. Like, they already know. So, yeah, I'm happy that we'll be able to. Yeah, Amy, I did. When I started hardcore, I had other rules that I imposed. I turned off nameplates and floating names so you couldn't see the enemy names at all. We were only able to equip gear that we crafted ourselves. And we were only able to eat food that we cooked ourselves. That was our shaman run, our very first hardcore character. This time around, I had a couple more rules imposed on him. No, those Amy, those rules were brutal. They were brutal. Maybe someday for a challenge run. I'm up for doing challenge runs after I get a character to 60. Yeah, I liked some of those rules. Crafting your own gear, like it made sure that you stayed up on your professions. I would like to try like that with blacksmithing. Would be like the way I leveled blacksmithing. If I could only wear gear that I made myself, would be a good challenge run for someone I wanted to be a blacksmith. Because it would actually make me go farm the ore. I liked turning like the names and stuff off because like you couldn't see, you didn't know, even the names can go off. So like you just get ambushed by stuff all the time because you never know where it's at. It was like that was a good like immersive rule. Anita, yeah, the hardcore characters are all still alive. This is just a rogue on Mankrik. We're just playing to play the game in like a normal mode. I'm taking a little break from solo solo self-found hardcore. I had a couple epiphanies about solo self-found, and the biggest epiphany was that you don't play a melee class or anybody that relies on a weapon. You have to play somebody with spell ranks, because especially in the 40s and 50s, that's the only way you're going to deal the damage you need to do is if you're a caster. So yeah, just had a couple epiphanies about the game mode and thought this would be a good time to take a little bit of a break. I always think I can go this way. It's like, no, you got to go around. We can't jump this, I don't think. No, it's way too far. Nikolai, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I hope you're well. Script, have a good rest of your day. Take care. We'll see you next time. Solo, never find anything you need. Absolutely. That's how it felt after a while. After getting like 3 caster offhand blues and like a bunch of green daggers, it really felt like... But you know, the last time we got on the Paladin, to be fair, I got him dinged to level 47 and we found a blue chest piece. Unfortunately... It was a level 39 chainmail chest piece with strength, stam, and spirit on it. It would have been perfect for an enhancement shaman. Because at 40, a shaman opens up the ability to equip mail. So getting a level 39 piece of mail armor on a shaman would have been great. On the paladin, not so great. Yeah, it's like it was cool to see the blue drop, but ultimately, like, not at all what we needed. I needed either a plate chest piece or a blue weapon. Instead, we got a blue piece of chainmail. I equipped it anyway. It was a bit of an upgrade. William, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. The thing is, guys, I don't need to be in this cave. I'm working my way back as if I'm going after the eggs, but we don't have that quest yet, so... I can stop slaughtering all of the spiders. And I can get out of here. Sideaway, I don't think you could do it. I don't know how that would work with the way Classic works. That's an interesting idea. Without buying any new skills. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to, really. I mean, you'd have to rely on just like your white swing. Yeah, you'd have to rely on just like your white swing to kill stuff, essentially. Because your abilities wouldn't be doing any damage. Will I still stream WoW when Baldur's Gate drops? Yes. Yes, I will. Yeah, my plan for Baldur's Gate is like, day one, I'm going to stream Baldur's Gate when it goes live, just so that people who really want to see it right away and they want to make the choice of whether they want to play the game, they can see it right away. But I'm going to record an immersive series for Baldur's Gate. So the stream will be a playthrough that we do occasionally, but I'm probably, for Baldur's Gate 3, I'm probably going to focus mostly on the recorded series. And then if there's a lot of interest in more, then we'll do more of the streams on the alternate playthrough. Yeah, I'm going to do a Vengeance Paladin for the recorded series. And then on the stream, we'll check out like either, maybe like a sorcerer, maybe a wizard, some kind of caster, I think. Although I've heard interesting things about the monk, like a ninja monk. There's like a ninja build for the monk. And that seemed kind of interesting. Max, is this place the best for early game leveling? Nah, it's just, I'm here for flavor. I'm here for us to see something different. It's just the Night Elf starting area. I don't even need to be here. I could have went out to Dalinar and started there, but I wanted to come up here to see if we can find some bags. And we did get one bag to drop so far. So, the experience here is not great, because we're just in like a really low level area right now. But we're going to work our way out to Greater Teldrassil.
Goodbye.
And that'll be good. Let's go sell everything. Yeah, speaking of bags, our bags are burgeoning. Yeah, it's gonna be a vengeance. I'm gonna be a human. It's gonna be really boring for the immersive series. I know this is what people want, because I get enough questions about things like this. I'm gonna be a human male paladin, and that should make people happy. Yeah, and he's gonna be a Vengeance Paladin. That's gonna be the recorded series. The stream will do body type B, maybe like a half elf drow, and we'll do some kind of caster, some kind of elf or half elf, and body type B and caster for the stream. But then for the recorded, body type A, human Vengeance Paladin. So yeah. Twisted, you started watching on the immersive hardcore with the Nelf Rogue. Yeah, the satyrs for the Rogue quest, man. I didn't expect them to spawn back there like that. Yep, that was a tough one. We can't dual wield until 10, right? Yeah. Okay, good. And that way, like, at least on the immersive series, I won't have to read comments like, why are you body type B? At least in the immersive, I won't get those comments. And then when people comment like that in the stream, I bet it's okay. In the immersive, I'll be body type A.
Del Madras.
Alright, what are we doing? We need to go back this way. For the ichor, we need the flowers, or mushrooms rather. They look like flowers. Let's go talk to this guy. I will still get asked, yeah. Absolutely. It seems to be inevitable.
What brings you here? May the stars guide you.
Clemens, good afternoon to you. Magical Joy, hello. Thank you for joining the stream. Between Night Elf, Druid, and the Priest, I'd probably say go with the Human Priest, just because Elwyn's a really awesome zone, and it's a little bit more straightforward than Teldrassil. Some of the questing in Teldrassil, it can be pretty challenging early on. And well, Elwyn, being an Elwyn, it gives you like a better ability if you want to jump between like the human and dwarven areas. That's really easy to do. Whereas if you go Night Elf, like it's kind of a longer journey to get anywhere like to the other races' lands. So yeah, I probably would just recommend a human because of like ease of early game travel, and like the starting quests are a little bit more smooth and straightforward. Vic, that is one thing that, yeah, people often say, I've heard this said at least, that in an RPG you either create the character you want to be, or you create the character you want to be with, in like the biblical sense. As a 40-year-old person, I create the character that I want to hang out with and go on walks with and have a chat with and maybe sip some coffee in the morning with. So, you know, that's the character that I create. And sometimes that's body type A, and sometimes it's body type B. But the thing you said is true too, you know, absolutely. And again, like that could be true of body type A or B, but... yeah, I create the character that I want to like chill with, you know. But people definitely have a couple of different ways that they create RPG characters, absolutely. And it probably depends on the game as well. Alright, so we got the Ichor. The eggs are in back of the cave. Okay, yeah, let's go to the back of the cave. Maybe we get lucky and some people have cleared it out. Nope, these people look like they're starting to clear it out. Got a druid and a priest. Mikey, good afternoon, man. Thanks for stopping by. Max, you go with the cutest option. Yeah, see? Exactly. There's lots of different reasons to, like, make a character. Yeah, I don't think there's, like, truly any one formula. And I think, like, over time, the kinds of characters people make changes. Like, back when I was in, like, my teens and 20s, I only made body type A, you know? Because that was at a time in my life when I was like, oh yeah, I'm trying to make the hero that I want to be. But then I grew up and I became the person I wanted to be. So like I don't have a need to like have that fantasy in a game. So I just kind of create a character that I like. I don't have Find Treasure on because we died doing the Wetlands run. There we go. Yeah, Clint, you made a character you can stare at the backside of for 80 levels. Yes. Absolutely. That is a completely valid reason to pick a body type, a race, you know, just because you're going to stare at the back of it for a long time. You know. Justin, good morning. Thanks for being here. My problem with the Tauren ultimately became like they seem to move so slow, and I know they're moving at the same speed as the other races, but their strides seem like it's like almost immersive breaking. They take these like really slow seeming strides, and like for some reason it bothers me. It started to bother me a lot on the warrior in Wrath of the Lich King. And then like I felt like my camera couldn't get far enough away from him. He was filling up the camera. Like I guess my problem with Tauren is their slowness and bigness. Yeah, their running animation just it's weird. It's weird for me. Yeah, Clint, they cover a lot of the screen. I really felt that on my warrior in Wrath. I like to play like this when I'm doing like immersive stuff, you know, and like playing like this with this camera with a Tauren, they fill up everything. You can't see the enemy around them. You got to pan over here to see the enemy. And yeah, The camera can be fixed with Leatrix Plus, though. I don't think it's a problem with the camera. Like, I could zoom out more, right? I could zoom out here. My Tauren would be only this big. But I like to play like this. And like this, the Tauren fills up so much. Yeah, I could roll my camera out, but it's like, yeah. And that's not the only problem. The other problems are they can't wear boots. Where are the boots? Oh, they have hooves. The hooves are a problem. Like, there's so little to the gear, and like your boots are a piece of that. It's a piece of your look, you know. And your look is mainly made up of your boots, your pants, your shoulders, and your chest. Especially for me, like I don't wear the helm a lot because I think all the helms look stupid. So not having proper boots on, like not being able to see the look of the boots, like kind of kills it for me. Which might be like a silly reason, but it's always been that way. Was there a time they didn't fit in doorways? Yeah, there was. And also, like, a lot of times, doorways that, like, in cities and stuff, like, that other races can mount up and go through, you can't. Like, in the Undercity, when you first approach the elevator part, you have to get through an archway. And most races can stay mounted and they get through just fine. The Tauren can't. The Tauren you have to dismount. Otherwise, you're not getting through. Yeah. It's weird. And I don't think retail has those same problems. I think, like, a lot of those problems are probably fixed in retail. I hope. But in Classic, they're still there. The troll feet are weird. Yeah, they got 2 toes. I get it. We can get some boots for those toes. It's called wide shoe, right? We need a wide shoe for our trolls, but they can definitely wear boots. I get that they might not need to, you know. They might not need to. I would like them to. Yeah, I think it would be polite if they could put on some boots. It's discrimination against trolls' feet. Yeah, no boots, no service. Yeah, they don't come into the inn without your boots, please. They could wear sandals. Yeah, there's lots of things they could do, you know. And I just, like, that always annoyed me. I'm like, they're so close to being, like, a good horde race. But they can't wear boots. And then the orcs can wear boots, but, yeah, they're orcs. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I don't really like playing orcs. Yeah, ultimately, like, yeah, a lot of the body type Bs are smaller than their body type A counterparts. Like the orcs, the orc is a good example. Obviously, Tauren is a good example of like the size difference. Draenei, another example. I feel like on the male models, they like the proportions are a little bit out of control. Some of the proportions, like some of the shoulder like width is like just out of control. The night elf shoulders, yeah, the male night elf shoulders are like way too broad. And then you look at the night elf female, and they just look like a human. They don't look like an Amazonian forest dwelling race, like kind of like the male do. They just look like a person with blue skin and pointy ears. It's weird. Alright, we need to be picking up, yeah, these flowers. Moon petal lilies, but then we need the hyacinth mushrooms. I think those can drop from the Grell. But I thought we could pick, oh yeah, we can pick both of them up. Got it. You made an orc in retail, you can't get them to look good, even upright they look dumb. I like the upright ones better than the hunched ones. I thought that was really cool to have that option, but yeah, ultimately it did not really change my desire to play an orc at all. I didn't. I think like eventually the future of WoW, I'm hoping that like, and maybe this is like far away and never gonna happen. We need to have a few different choices for our body types A and B. You know what I mean? There need to be a few different frames for us to work with. And they've kind of done this in a way by having races like Kultiran humans and stuff like that. But there needs to be more of it for more of the other races too. Like we need a few different. Remember when we were supposed to get skinny Kultirans? And there are skinny Kultiran males like body type A's like all over in BFA content, but we never got them as playable, and I never really understood why. I was actually looking forward to doing like the skinnier Kultiran human like caster, but then we never got them. And at first they said we were going to. They showcased them like right away, but then we never got skinny male Kultiran models to play. And I thought that was incredibly freaking strange, especially because they're in the game. They can wear the armor. They do exist, and I think there are plenty of people who would want to play as one. But we need more like options. I don't want sliders. I just want like different frames of the like two at least 2 different for body type A and 2 different for body type B. And that would be a lot better. They also said we were gonna get a dance studio. Yeah, was that Cataclysm? That was supposed to have the DDR, or was it Wrath? I forget which one it was. Yeah, we never got a dance studio, not properly. They've told us lots of things. How's the music sounding, guys? I feel like the music is really quiet today. Is the music really quiet today? I kind of want, like, I want to hear it louder. Yeah. Music's probably, the music here is really good. Let me know if this music gets to be too loud. That sounds okay. You guys let me know. It looks like, I'm looking at my meters, it looks like it's okay. I want you guys to be able to hear the music. I want to be able to hear the music too. Clint says, I'm a degenerate, I can't have sliders. That's fine, man. No, sliders are there for you to enjoy how you enjoy them, man. Don't feel any shame in maxing those sliders out. Like, it's absolutely fine. That's part of things, that's part of a game being a fantasy game. You know what I mean? Yeah, I really hope eventually they add some more different frames for the different races. I'd like to see some Night Elf female that were like a little bit more muscular and Amazonian, because like at first, especially from like Warcraft 3 and then from like the intro cutscene of WoW, like the Night Elf females seemed like they were like Amazonian warrior princesses. And then in the game they're just like a person. Like there's nothing unique about them. They just look like a human. You know, they're not muscled, they don't have anything going on for them. And I feel like that doesn't need to be that way. I feel like we could have options. And yeah, and I don't think we'll ever get sliders in WoW. But yeah, I think eventually we could see maybe some more body type. But what they do is like they kind of like treat different races as their body type template. Like, oh, you want to be a skinny thing, go play a blood elf. Like, you know, they kind of treat it like that. I don't think it should be treated that way, because then that makes things too boring. Like, I think you should have different builds for all the races, you know. We have all the mushrooms we need, and we're not getting any more bag drops, so I should go over and pick the rest of the lilies we need. Get these turned in. I think we have to make one more trip back out to the guy to like cure his poison. Vi4, thank you for being here, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by. What you're really saying is you want boob sliders in the game, as do I. Vic, I'd love to have different kinds of sliders. Yeah, I want more options. Not just chest related. But, yeah. Like, specifically with the Night Elves, I thought they would be a little bit more muscular, you know. Maybe I need, like, thigh sliders for, like, bigger thighs. I want thighs that look like she could run through the forest at that speed, you know what I mean? I guess that's what I want. Yeah, I just want more diversity, and that would be like a retail thing, right? Obviously, they're doing good, but I'd like to see them do more. They're adding all these customizations. One day they'll realize they can add like different body types, that you can be human A with broad shoulders or human A with normal shoulders. You know, I think that they'll realize it someday.
How may I help?
Let's take the leather.
Del Nadris.
Let's see how this looks. Oh, we don't even have a chest piece. So yeah, we're definitely equipping it, because apparently we had just a shirt on, I guess. So yeah. All right, let's get these turned in. We are gonna have to go see the poisons guy again, and I think we have to climb. Yeah, we have to climb to the top of this, don't we? This is the hardest part of the Night Elf area, is that you have to like constantly climb to the top of their little tree things. They've got visible abs? Not barely defined. Oh, in retail. In retail, yeah. I think in retail they did tone them up a little bit, didn't they? Yeah, I think that you're right about that. I don't think I've made a Night Elf in retail anytime recently. The Plastic Nerd, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. It's been a while.
Peace be with you. Go in peace.
Go again. Go again. Yeah, Vic, I think I am thinking of the Sentinel Warriors. Yeah, like the Amazonian warriors that just look like battle goddesses, basically. That is what I was thinking of. And like, yeah, when you make a Night Elf female, that's not at all like that. The male model is like heavily muscled and kind of like beefy. They don't like wearing shirts either, obviously. Like most of them don't even wear shirts. They don't bother. Operation High Jump, that's cool, man. I hope that you enjoy. I'm always happy to hear that I bring people back to the game, as long as they like go into the game and they have good experiences. So we got our first death out of the way. I think like throwing ourselves off of that and like dying right away is good. Now we're dead. Now no one's sitting there like, oh man, this could have been the most successful hardcore run ever. You know, I don't want anyone to have that thought. I don't want to have that thought. So it's good to get us killed off like basically immediately.
What brings you?
That way we don't have to worry about it.
Be careful.
All right, bags. We didn't get the bags emptied. Let's go do that before we strike back out. Yeah, deleted. It's so good just to be able to die, have it not matter. It's good. Obviously, if it were hardcore, like I never would have jumped down that way. But I did think that we could land on the roof and not die. That turned out to just not be true with the way that I did it. There we go. I haven't really needed any food yet, so... Duration 5 minutes. Oh, this is a timed quest. Okay. I guess we should get going. Operation, you're gonna have to deal with that like pretty quick. You're gonna have to. The good thing is it's not fiance or wife, man. Not to sound callous, but listen to this. You have to do the things in life that you love. And if the thing in life that you love that brings you some joy is that you sit down for an hour, a couple hours a day, and you play a video game, like you should be able to do that. And if you're with somebody and they don't want you to have that time and they don't want you to do those things, you're probably not with the right person. That's like as easily as it can be said. You know, if there's something you love and there's not a space in the person's heart to like accept that part of you, and they're not willing to let you have... Now, there's a difference if you're trying to play 8 hours a day and you're actually ignoring her. It's different if you've made plans and you cancel them to be with your raid team. Like, there are scenarios where this advice is not valid. But in the scenario where you're carving out a reasonable amount of time for yourself and you're not neglecting other actual real-life things, you should absolutely be able to play World of Warcraft without feeling like someone is getting upset at you. So think about that. And like I said, be happy it's girlfriend and not fiance or wife. What happens a lot with people, especially with World of Warcraft, is like people who play WoW don't always play WoW, right? We take breaks from the game. We step away from it, sometimes for years. And so what the trap people fall into is like they stop playing WoW, they meet somebody, they have a relationship, and they don't talk about World of Warcraft because they're not playing World of Warcraft. And then one day, they realize they want to play World of Warcraft again. And suddenly you're with somebody who doesn't actually know that you play WoW, doesn't actually know that you play games, and they're surprised. And then you have a problem. Yeah. It's like if you're a WoW player, like it's like you almost have to tell people that immediately, even if you're not currently playing the game. Like part of what someone learns about you should be that you are a WoW player. You know what I mean? Yeah, introduce her to the game as well. Exactly. But it's ultimately all about balance. Yeah, there is a situation where like you get super sucked into a game and you do start ignoring like real life people, and like that's not okay either. But yeah, you should be able to do things you enjoy. You got to make sure that the people that you spend your time around are people that are gonna like encourage you to enjoy your time. Yeah, Mallory, she does play WoW. She played WoW originally back in Mist of Pandaria. That's when she first got into it. But then we had our son, and she couldn't keep playing. So she played for a bit in Mist, got a max level character going. Then she got a hunter, like partially there. And recently she's gone back and she's been playing Classic. So she started in Classic era, but now I've got her in Wrath of the Lich King now, because I'd like her to be able to see the journey like from Vanilla into BC into Wrath. So I didn't want her to get like stuck in Classic era and not be able to see like some of the best content unfold eventually. So yeah, right now she's playing Wrath. I tried to get her into retail too, but like she bounced off the new player experience because the new player experience is not good, Blizzard. It's not good. It's still not good. Yeah, see, yeah, my wife's she won't play retail now because she had a really bad like experience bouncing off of it because of all the confusion at the start. If the game had dropped her in Northshire Abbey, she'd have been fine, you know, but it put her in Exile's Reach and then sent her to BFA. It was bad. So now she's only playing Classic. Although she rolled a Draenei, she did appreciate that the Draenei have more pixels than the other races. So, yeah. Yeah, and Max, if you're both like that, then it works because there's like there's a mutual understanding. You know what I mean? It's not like one-sided. Yeah, it's not one-sided. So in that case, it's fine. Jackie, good afternoon. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, Vic, all they need to do is just put new players in those original starting zones. That's all they have to do. The content's already there. And like, I know Blizzard wants people to see the shiniest, prettiest parts of the game first, but that's not good. That's not going to get people in. People are like, oh, this is really pretty, but I have no idea what to do. Why are all these quests here? What's a command board? Who the hell is what is a chromie? What in the hell is a chromie? And why do I click on it to do a thing? Like, yeah, like new players don't know. The time walking campaigns are horrible for new players because they don't even know what the hell is going on. They're like, why am I not just playing a game? Why did I start playing a game and now the game wants me to pick which game I'm playing? Wait, I thought I was just going to play the game. No, you got to pick which game you're going to play. Ah, friction. I'll go play Classic. I'll go play something else at that point. JJ, they have had to, and I don't know if it's still this way, but yeah, new players have had to go. You have to do Exile's Reach. And then they push you into the BFA content, okay? Like, you can get out of the BFA content. You can go talk to Chromie, and you can go, like, you can pick Cataclysm Time Walking, and you can go level up anywhere. But a new player doesn't know that. A new player has no way to find that out unless somebody tells them, you know? Like, I told my wife, I said, you know, we'll drop all your quests, we'll put you in Northshire Abbey, you'll have Cataclysm Time Walking, so you'll be able to level up anywhere in the old world, and you'll just go. And that's the way to do it, and that's how Blizzard should do it. Because right now you do Exile's Reach, which is okay. Like, Exile's Reach is an okay experience. The problem is that as soon as Exile's Reach ends, everything is confusing. And there is, like, very little sensical guidance. You end up in BFA with characters and story that's not going to matter, that you're not going to finish. And that's if you don't get confused on the way to Stormwind Harbor by the 15,000 other quests and command boards that are available to you in Stormwind. Like, if you even make it to Jaina's boat, you know, and then what happens is you make it to Jaina's boat, and one of the first things they have you do in the scenario is open the portals to go back to Stormwind. And then you're back in Stormwind, and then you're like, wait, what? How do I go back to where I was? Wait, was I somewhere? Oh, wait, what are these quests? And then you're suddenly way off track, and you feel it right away. You feel like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's happening, but I'm not enjoying my time. Whereas if you did Exile's Reach, and they popped you down in Goldshire, and you had a handful of quests to do, it would make perfect sense. You'd go talk to Marshal Dugan, he would tell you some stuff, and you'd go fight stuff, and it would be super easy. But that's not how it is right now. Yeah, Plastic Nerd, even coming back to the game, you can get lost. Yes, exactly. It's not just new players. It can confuse anybody at this point.
I am honored. May the stars guide you.
Yeah, Alex, when you choose to start in the starting zone, they still bug you to go do BFA at level 10. That's so intrusive. And like a new player is going to be like, oh, okay, I guess I have to do that. They're not going to do what we do, and they're going to be like, take, abandon, and keep going. Like, they're going to get sidetracked. They're going to get sidetracked by every little thing that happens. And God forbid, like, for some reason, the intro to Shadowlands happens, or you find that quest in Storm, and all of a sudden you're doing Shadowlands content. It's a shit show for new players and returning players, and they can make it so easy. Let me do Exile's Reach, and then have the experience be that after Exile's Reach, you go into your racist starting zones. You just go right into the racist starting zone. Don't put people into BFA. Nobody needs to see that content unless they choose to. BFA is not the World of Warcraft. The World of Warcraft is Northshire Abbey, it's Teldrassil, it's Mulgore, it's Durotar. You know, that's the World of Warcraft. BFA is not. BFA is not. BFA is like a modern, cartoonish example of what World of Warcraft kind of became. It's World of Warcraft, the Disney Pixar cartoon. And, and it doesn't need to be that way for new players. Vic, I think you can get to level 61 now before Chromie yanks you. They, for some reason, extended it one level for some arbitrary reason. Before she, like, yanks you out of the content you're doing and puts you into Dragonflight. Jess, you're absolutely right. The thing is, any addiction can be a problem. But I think when people are talking about, like, spending time and getting sucked in and, like, some people not liking that, I don't think that all those people who have that problem in their relationships, I don't think they're all addicted. Yeah, one of my best friends in life was addicted to WoW. He would constantly cancel, like, real-life plans with us, his friend group at the time, to raid. He would constantly call off work to do things for his guild. And he almost ruined his life. He got to a point where he was in his 20s, he was living at home, he would work, like, 1 or 2 days a week just to have some spending money. And besides that, he played World of Warcraft. At one point, his guild had to pay his WoW sub because they needed him to raid, but he did not have a job for so long that he did not have money to pay his sub. And so, yeah, being addicted to games can be life-ruining. Being addicted to anything can be life-ruining.
Hello, farewell.
But a lot of people, like, they're not addicted, but sometimes they get into positions where they're with somebody who doesn't understand that they like video games, or they don't understand why, and so they get made to feel like they're not allowed to spend any time. That any time they spend is time away from family, is time not doing a family thing. Like, that's how some people are made to feel. And that happens when one person understands video games and has a love of the art form, and the other person doesn't. That just happens naturally in that state. I should make this my home. Yeah, that would be smart.
Vishnu Allah.
Yeah, and the game tells you in the tips, everything in moderation, including World of Warcraft. Yeah, and like, as a human being, you are personally accountable for yourself, especially once you're an adult.
What brings you here?
Twisted, you almost failed high school playing WoW. Yeah, it's like, and that's probably a thing. Like that's a parenting issue. If you're in high school, that's a parenting issue. Yeah, like my kid's not going to be failing classes and playing video games. Like, you're getting C's, you're not going to get C's and have an Xbox. Like, that's not how life is. And so, like, but without those standards, it's really easy for kids, especially teenagers, I think, to get sucked into something like this, you know? Especially in, like, generations nowadays, there's so much defeatism in people. About, like, you know, they think that the world is just awful, that they're never going to be able to become anything, and like, so it's easy for people to get sucked into something else, you know, to get sucked into a literal fantasy. But when you're a kid, it's a parenting issue, and then you hope that you've got some, like, kind of coaching as a kid, and then, like, as an adult, it becomes self-regulation. And some people have that, and some people don't. And unfortunately, like, a lot of people don't even have, like, good support structures to, like, help point out when they're getting sucked in like that towards negative. Getting A's is permission to be addicted to games. Like, yeah, if you're getting A's and B's and you want to spend 3 hours a day in a video game, cool, you can do that. If you're getting C's and D's and you want to spend time playing a video game, nah, you're not playing any games. Get your grades up. And that's kind of how it has to be. Like, that's like simple solve for video game addiction and ruining a kid's life. Set a standard and stick to it. And it's not going to be easy, especially as kids get older, but it can be easy if you're always constant with it.
I am listening. Pasha Fela. I am listening. Del Nadris, I am honored. Go in peace.
Is a Season of Mastery? No. Nope. Season of Mastery ended a long time ago. This is a Classic Era server. This is the Mankrik server cluster. But it's just regular old Classic Era WoW. Yeah, Season of Mastery ended last year. It was dead way before that, but it ended last year. There will be a new season of Classic WoW at the end of this year. Will be a new fresh start season, but we're not there yet. Yeah, Clint. That's how it was for me. Like, I didn't really have video games, but it meant other things were taken away. I didn't get C's. I got a C in conduct most of the time, but my academic grades were all A's and B's because there were consequences, and like, grades did not get updated quickly like they do now for kids. Like, now I feel like you can see kids' progress like on a day-to-day, so it can change, you know, pretty quickly. But back then, yeah, you had quarterly progress reports, and so like, if you screwed up, you were in trouble for 3 months until the next progress report came. So it was like long-term consequences. Yeah, I got A's and B's because there were like real consequences for not. Like, so my only C was in conduct, and I still got punished for that, but it was like accepted because I was getting A's and B's and everything else. It's like with C's, my philosophy with a C is like, I'll give you 1. Because maybe, just maybe, there's something that you really, really struggle with, and maybe, just maybe, a C is what you can do. So like with C's, I'm like, I give you 1, as long as it's like a consistent 1, you know what I mean? Vic, I think a lot of people treat school that way, yeah. School itself doesn't do a lot to make us like think any better of it. Because a lot of the shit they have you do, you can easily see through as being like tedious and pointless, you know? It's unfortunate that the way they do schooling hasn't changed in like 200 years. Because people in society have changed quite a bit. And like, we work computers into the mix now, But even through the computers, the kinds of things they're doing and learning is the same thing that they've been doing and learning for 200 years. And it's like, a lot of it's not super useful. Now we need a skinning knife. Yeah, now we can skin stuff, so now I absolutely have to go buy a skinning knife right away. I've just kind of been on autopilot through this conversation. I don't remember any of the combats we've been doing. We need trade goods vendor, who I believe is over here. Pretty sure. Maybe up top? Yes.
Yishno Del Diab. Goodbye.
Now that we're fighting like at level stuff, it might be an okay idea to like work stealth back in a little bit. I know we haven't been stealthing at all this morning. I'm surprised no one has been offended by my lack of stealthing. Vaclav, you notice that in the last few expansions the music is less noticeable? I'm not sure. You know what, I will say, like, I don't remember any music from Dragonflight. Like, none of the... I don't think I played enough, really, even for any of the tracks to stick in my head. It might be that as retail expansions progress, the amount of time you spend in a zone listening to the music at all is much less. You know, like in Classic, you spend a lot of time in one zone, doing stuff in one zone. Whereas like in retail now, you're not in the zones for that long. You often are sent in and out of the zones, like to and from main cities pretty often. And I feel like that that will stop the music from really getting burned into your brain and becoming something that you remember or like have attachments and feelings about. Like, we're stuck here with the same music track, like it gets into your head, you know, it creates a vibe. Also, what happens to some people in their sound settings, there's an option called loop music, and by default this option is off. And what this means is that the music will play for a little while, and then it will stop for a long time, and then occasionally it'll pick back up again. But yeah, this happens to lots of people, I think, where they don't have loop music on, because by default I'm pretty sure it's unchecked. So if you feel like you're not really ever hearing the music, like especially, like, just check that, but it might just be what I said, that you're not spending enough time with it for it to be memorable. Yeah, Mr. Jackpot's nailed it. The BFA music is good. I listened to it when I was there doing the Kultiran quest the other day, and like the music was good, but I didn't remember any of it. That was the thing. It's like, oh, I was like, oh, this is good music, but like none of it had ever stuck in my head from like when I played BFA. And it's like, I just don't think that you spend enough time in the zones to really like, unless you're someone that plays a lot. Like, yeah, if you were getting on every day and doing world quest, you're gonna remember the music in those zones if you ground that out every day, you know. If you were a BFA player who like cleared the map or like tried to do some world questing, I can see how that music would stick in your head because it is really good. And then of course you gotta crank the music up. Like, you gotta go into your sound settings if you want to hear it. You gotta crank it up. Because by default it's like, it's probably not gonna be too loud by default. Oh man, I realized playing the rogue, like I never drink my coffee, you know, because like we never sit and drink mana. That was like when I trained myself to drink coffee, and like I never drink my coffee. I have to fix that, otherwise I will get sleepy. Lael, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I think a lot of the music is good, but I think that a lot of players don't spend a lot of time with it these days. Like what you said about Zereth Mortis, like I remember Zereth Mortis like having good music, like good ambient music, but I don't remember what it sounds like. I didn't engage with it enough, you know. I think it's an engagement thing. And like ultimately, like the way something sticks in your head the most is if it's part of like formative memories. And I don't think a lot of like recent WoW expansions have been a lot of people's like formation memories, like just memories of like a big time in your life, and you kind of associate it with the game and the things you're doing in the game, and it embeds the music and the visuals into your head a little bit more. And for a lot of us, that was like when we were younger, it just got embedded in us kind of as like a formative memory. Vic, I used to do that. Yep, I used to be an example of that exact thing. It makes me sad to think about. Like, there were lots of years I spent with the game sounds entirely off. You know, I'd be chatting with people in Ventrilo. Yeah, in Ventrilo. Yeah, that's how old I am. I would be chatting with people in Vent, or just like playing music on my own. And I would have like a lot of the sound effects, everything would just be off, you know. I'd play the game silent, which like now I could never do. But at some point in my life, I did play that way, yeah. It was either Vent or Mumble. I think it was Ventrilo at that point. Yeah, I remember having to have a server. Someone had to pay for a server. Oh yeah, Max. Oh yeah, Discord put up. They all went out of business immediately. Yeah, as soon as Discord was a thing, like, yeah, you were never gonna use Vent. You were never gonna use Mumble. Like, and those, you had to pay for those to have a server where you could have like more than a couple people on them. You had to pay monthly. It was like $10 a month. They were probably making quite a bit of money off of just subscription fees. Like, people had to keep. And then if you wanted like if you wanted to have like 50 people in your event, you had to pay more. You know. Yep, I remember. Guild leader pays for the Vent server. that's how we handled it. The guild leader pays for it. I feel like I have too much ground clutter for my height. That's the only bad thing about the ground clutter in this game, is that, like, it's taller than some of the character models. I feel like maybe a little bit less ground clutter would suit me. I'm already at 4. Oh my gosh. I still feel like that's a lot. Ground clutter does nothing for me in this game. Not even in retail. I think the ground clutter is bad. And all it does, like when you're on a shorter character, it literally can hide your character from view. I had to change my shaman in retail was originally a dwarf, but because of the ground clutter being so tall, I had to change it to a Draenei. Because I couldn't be a short character in retail anymore. Because I can never see my character when I'm standing out in like an open field or something. Justin, you all chipped in for event. It wasn't too super expensive, was it? I felt like it was only like $10 or $15 a month, like what we paid for it. We made the guild leader pay. He lived in New York, so we knew that he had the money to pay. We're looking just for spiders now. But they seem to all be dead. Vav, this is not hardcore. Nope, nope. This is just a regular run in Classic Era on the Mankrik cluster. I am taking a little break from solo solo self-found hardcore to just relax and play some Classic Era the way it was meant to be played. And yeah, we're on the Mankrik cluster. We will revisit hardcore in the future. And we'll probably get back to it before like the official servers come out. The official servers probably won't come out till September. I probably won't step away from it for that long, but I need to right now. Emil, that's an interesting question. I don't know, I have to think about that one. Not Thunder Bluff or Undercity, because I don't want to fall to my death down an elevator shaft. Or, yeah, we can rule out Undercity, I think, just right away, right? Let's rule out the Undercity. And probably let's rule out Thunder Bluff, because heights, yeah. Maybe Silver Moon. I think as far as aesthetics, Silver Moon was always, like, my favorite city. Stormwind, Silver Moon. Silver Moon, definitely I was so, like, back in the day, I just didn't understand it. You know, I saw Silver Moon, I saw Orgrimmar, and, like, I didn't understand, like, why players all hung out in Org. Like, I get it now, everything you need is there, you know? But, like, I always thought that people should come hang out in Silver Moon because it was so much prettier. And, like, the layout of Silver Moon makes a lot more sense than the layout of Orgrimmar. Alex, it's raining green one-handed weapons on your hunter, but they're useless. Yeah. I hear that, man. Maybe a classic season could be like the season of personal loot. So that anytime a BOE drops, it's for your class. For your spec. Maybe we need a season of Classic Era that's the season of personal loot. I think that would be interesting. I want to see a season of hidden treasure. I want to see a season where, like, when you pop a chest open, you're probably going to get a blue. That would be so exciting. Imagine, like, how much more you would hunt for treasure chests. If every time you pop one, you had a pretty good chance of getting a blue that you could wear. The season of personal loot treasure. The next season of Classic. Yeah, I want that. I said we'd use stealth a little more, but I didn't mean it. If I can run up to them and just start stabbing them and that works, like, I typically do that. Eventually we'll have to start stealthing a bit more probably, but I kind of like just running up and poking it. Yes, Silver Moon is the best. It's always so dead because nobody's there. It's really sad. It's really sad that, like, think about the work they put in to make the cities, and how for the most part players don't experience most of the cities most of the time. It's kind of sad. Vic, you feel like Classic WoW is ripe for fun twists and turns, but you don't think Blizz has the creative ability to pull it off? Yes, I agree with you. Maybe not even the creative ability. I don't think they're given the leeway. I think they have people at the company more than capable of thinking of cool stuff. I just don't think those people are in positions where they actually are allowed to act upon it. I think that's like the bigger problem, is like there aren't a lot of people probably that are that imaginative, and also the people that are probably held back by just not being in a position where they can actually make choices. And so that's why we'll probably get another lame Season of Mastery with a 40% experience buff, and the bosses will drop more loot at endgame, because people love Classic Era endgame. Doesn't everybody just, we can't wait to get into our 40-man raids and grind them every week. Oh wait, only 1% of people do that. Huh. Yeah, they need to do something in this season that like that applies to the 99% of people that level up in the game but don't go on to do 40-man raids every week. They need to do something with the season that does something for us. Like people who just want to level, people who want to have a journey. We need some fun new stuff on the journey, yeah. We need personal loot chests. We need treasure. We need, you know, harder 5-mans for better loot. We need something for the people who just really want to have the journey of leveling and don't care too much about farming like endgame raids. Like, if someone wants to go do raids, like, man, just go do that in Wrath of the Lich King or go do it in retail. Like, you don't really just want to farm raids in Classic. Like, I guess some people do. They want to get Thunder Fury. They want to get those iconic weapons and armor. I've never been like that for Classic Era. I'm not a big fan of 40-man raids. What I would love to see is a Season of Mastery where the raids were scalable, where like you can do a 10-man Molten Core, or 20-man Molten Core, or 40. Like, you got to choose. Yeah, I would love a season of 10-man raids. That would be the way that I would raid in Classic Era. Is if the raid sizes, if I had a 10-man option for my raid group, because then it would be 10 people. They'd all be accountable. It wouldn't be a big mess, and the boss fights could actually be fun. Would I recommend this as a beginner to MMOs? Yes, I would recommend you play Classic Era Classic. Because Classic Era Classic came out in 2004, and that was like, you know, a big time for MMOs. We'd just come off like EverQuest, and there were other games. But since it is a classical MMO experience, I feel like it is good for a new player. If you try to jump into retail, you are going to bounce off of it so hard that you'll never want to hear the World of Warcraft name again. So don't go play retail. That's not going to be a good new MMO experience. Play Classic. Play Classic Era Classic, or even Classic Wrath. Like play Classic Wrath even. Same thing, the starting experience is going to be very similar. Like, I would absolutely recommend it for people new to MMOs. Especially if you kind of like what you see here, yeah. Like if you're kind of digging the vibe and like the pacing of combat and stuff like that, then yes, absolutely. I really don't need stealth until my 20s. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I think when I stealth now, it'll be to pickpocket people. We haven't done a lot of pickpocketing. Surprisingly, no one has bothered me about the lack of pickpocketing. Although we haven't been fighting a lot of enemies with pockets, so maybe it's coming. Ah, he got us. Vaclav, I didn't know that about WildStar, that they had big raids like that. Yeah, I liked WildStar. I thought WildStar had a cool art style. I thought the classes were cool. I was on a medic at first, but I ended up on a warrior though, big surprise. But my warrior was super cool. I loved how the armor looked in that game. Yeah. I don't remember anything about the leveling experience, which means that it probably wasn't too painful. And so that's good too. Yeah, I liked WildStar. And it just kind of unceremoniously died. Like, my guild, we got to endgame. I don't think I ever raided. I did some PvP in WildStar. Like, surprisingly, I enjoyed PvP on my warrior. And then we all went back to WoW. Yep, and SWTOR, the same thing kind of happened. Like, we all leveled up. SWTOR was a great game, amazing story, fun classes, great voice acting. We did the first raid, we played a bunch of Hutball, and then we went back to WoW. And so went the fate of every MMO ever made in the 2000s. It's like, people got into the game, we leveled up through the game, played a little bit of the end game, decided WoW had more to offer, and we dropped out of it. WildStar was tab targeting. Yep. It was a WoW clone. Remember when they were like, it was a WoW clone? It was a WoW clone. Yeah. It did have potential. Absolutely. I think all those MMOs had potential. Like, SWTOR had potential. WildStar had potential. Now, there were games that had no potential, like Aeon. We played a bunch of Aeon. Regretfully. Was the other one Rift? Rift was the other, like, WoW clone. And, like, Rift feels like it did well for a while. Rift gave people a classic WoW feeling, like, in a period of time when you weren't going to get a classic WoW feeling from basically anything. I think Rift found, like, a very, like, target audience. I think it was Rift. I can't remember if that's the game I'm thinking of. It was the game with the Chloromancer class. They had a couple of, like, really unique classes. But ultimately, it felt like WoW. I remember liking it. It was the same thing. We leveled up in it, and then we just didn't do any endgame stuff, and we went back to WoW. I think my guild is the entire problem. We're the reason why all these games died. Yes, Vaclav, the cosmetic shop ruined SWTOR. Something about seeing a level 10 dressed as a Sith Lord ruined my immersion. Absolutely. I can definitely feel, especially in a game like Star Wars. Yeah. We're looking for a dream catcher. Yeah, I think a lot of people are like that. Yeah, a lot of people. I think you get tired of WoW sometimes, and then you leave for a while. And sometimes when you leave for a couple months. Sometimes you leave for a couple years. You know. The problem with WoW, like retail now, is like it's so hard to leave and come back. Cause like, especially if you miss the last couple expansions, like everything changes so quick. When you drop out of the game for like a 0.5 or 0.7 patch, like I missed patch 0.5 and patch 0.7 of Dragonflight, and by the time I came back in 10.1, I had no idea what to do. I had to watch some Bellular vids and had to figure out what I was supposed to be doing in the game and like what content actually mattered. So yeah, it's like these days though, like people bounce off and they come back, but it's like sometimes when you come back, it's hard to stay. And they're not making it any simpler for people either. We don't need this guy, but we're definitely going to kill him. You wonder if they change WoW more than any other MMO changes out there? I don't know. I think that all MMOs kind of do this, because like when I played Guild Wars, for example, When I was playing Guild Wars, like, I would kind of complain about how pointless the combat felt, how empty and easy it was, and what people told me, they're like, oh hey, at level 80, combat feels entirely different. And I'm like, oh, it feels entirely different? They're like, yeah, you're gonna have to learn how to dodge, and you're gonna be doing this, and it's gonna be super hard. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you're saying it's not gonna be hard or challenging at all, and then I hit level 80 and suddenly it's different. So like, based on stuff like that, I feel like a lot of MMOs change over time. Like, if you come into an MMO a few years into its run, you're not playing the vanilla experience of that game anymore. Like, they're all like that. And I think about like Final Fantasy XIV. When they first launched A Realm Reborn, FF14 felt like an MMO with a good MSQ. Because while you were doing the MSQ, you were also doing side quests. You were also exploring the world and doing the little additional tasks and like seeing the little villages and interacting with NPCs. Over time, Final Fantasy XIV changed. And now all you do in FF14 is you only do the MSQ. And whatever else you want. But they push you only are made to do the MSQ. And so that game definitely changed over time. It went from being an MMO that felt like an MMO to being just a JRPG with a big story. And the MMO part happens in dungeons and raids. And then like, yeah, but I feel like they all change over time a lot. And that's why like the new player experience is never anything close to what people are doing at endgame. It's like barely adjacent. To the point where people will tell you that combat will feel entirely different. I'm like, I don't want it to feel entirely different suddenly at level 80. What I would like is like a progression of difficulty from easy to more difficult to help me master the game. But that's not what happens, you know? I think that World of Warcraft leveling in retail, if we accept the first like 10 levels and how messy the beginning is, right? Let's just imagine a world where you don't go to Exile's Reach, where you start in Northshire Abbey. I think that the leveling in World of Warcraft is the best out of any MMO out there, because I feel like although the game changes over time, like if you play retail now, like the combat is easier, you feel more powered up than in Classic. But that's always like that. Even when you get into Dragonflight content, you're gonna feel super powerful because retail WoW is what I call a high-powered hero fantasy, and Classic WoW is a low-powered hero fantasy. And so the overpoweredness that you feel kind of in retail, it persists. It's basically kind of, if you're fighting one guy, it's going to take most classes 3 abilities, maybe 4 abilities to kill the guy. Same if you're fighting a bunch of guys. And so I feel like it's consistent. I feel like leveling up in retail, you have the time to learn your abilities, to learn your rotation, to learn your talents. And I feel like by the time you get to level 70, like nothing huge in your gameplay really gets turned on its head. The way people would tell me that like Guild Wars combat was going to feel completely different at 80, I don't think that's what happens when you level up in World of Warcraft retail. Like I've been leveling up the Warlock, and I've been learning the class. I've been even learning the talents, as confusing and like ridiculous as they are. They're all like 7-paragraph talents now. And I've been learning stuff like that. And I don't feel like the pacing is too quick, and I don't feel like the pacing is too slow. And I feel like I've really gotten to learn the Warlock class, at least the Destruction spec, through my playthrough. And now I'm gonna be taking that character in the Dragonflight content soon, and it's probably gonna feel pretty similar to what I've been doing up until this point.
Farewell.
Yeah, David, the Warlock side talents are awful. Like, I don't like the class overall talent trees in retail. I love the spec trees. The spec trees, to me, I can read the talents, they make sense. I see that AoE is over here, single target's over here, we have some middle stuff. Yeah, for the Warlock side, I just want to look up a build and click the buttons and not really pay attention to any of it. Like, 4 of the talents in the Warlock side, like, increase damage of things. So there's 4 talents in there that are actually like meaningful to me, and the rest is just garbage that I don't care about.
How may I help?
Yeah, I think that we're gonna see a change to like the class trees. I'd like to have the class tree. Remember the Cataclysm talents were like level 10, level 15, 25, 35. I'd like to have less choices in my Warlock tree and have those choices be more meaningful. And I'd like for the spec tree to be like it is now. But I want the class tree to be simpler. Yeah, I want it to be like the revamped talents were right when they did that back in either Kata or Mist or whenever it was. Just for the class one, and then the spec should be the one we have currently, you know? Some iteration of that. Does the new lock feel better? Oh, Clint, it's not even the same class. Yeah, there's no compare. I'm sure maybe people were confused when I said like the hardcore classic era Warlock was super boring. But then I'm playing a Void Elf Warlock and I'm loving it. It's a different class in a different game. Yeah. Destruction Warlock is super fun, man, and the spell effects look amazing. It feels good to press the buttons. Yeah. I have a lot of fun on the Warlock Destruction in retail. Just different class, different game though. Like, yeah, the classic era Warlock was super boring to me. Patrick, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. Favorite starting zone, Sloppy? Either Elwyn or Mulgore. What are we looking for here? Felcones, right? We're looking for Felcones. You know, they're all good. I'd say that my least favorite is Duratar. I don't like Duratar. I don't really like barren, desolate looking places. So Duratar is the only one that I don't particularly love. Sometimes I'm not in the mood for Tirisfal Glades. It depends. If it's like October, if it's like Halloween time, then I'm always in the mood for Tirisfal Glades. Jess, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for being here. I'm really enjoying being here in the Night Elf area. I love the music here, it's just like super relaxing. Also, like not being on hardcore, like I don't really have to worry about anything. I can just enjoy the game and I can enjoy chatting with you guys. And I don't have to be like super worried about much of anything. Got some druid buffs. Thorns and Mark of the Wild. Armor. Mark of the Wild is armor in classic. Is it Mark of the Wild like all stats in different versions of the... I thought it was like increases all stats by 2 or something. Apparently it's armor.
Greetings. Illuminate your path.
Vic, I always thought it was kind of like strange that we are like on a tree or inside a tree and there are trees. I always kind of like ignored the fact that like basically we're on top of a tree. We're either on top of it or inside of it. Yeah, it's conceptually difficult. And so I usually just don't think about it.
May the stars guide you.
But yeah, we're in a tree. It's the whole tree. It's the whole tree that now in retail it has been burned down, completely burned to the ground. So, yeah. Poor Night Elf characters. Ugh. Inside those trees are little areas with more trees. Right, it's like treeception, basically. The Night Elf area is treeception. Do Timberlings have pockets? No, they don't. Vic, I wish that's what it was. You wonder if Blizz decided to burn down the whole zone because they wanted to give Night Elves a new city. Nah, it was just bad story direction. It was just really bad, really confused story direction that, like, the guy who was leading that story is no longer at Blizzard Entertainment. That's why Steve Denuzer's, and like, Steve Denuzer's not too great either. I don't really care for him either as a storyteller. But it was the guy before him that led us down the road to completely burning the World Tree. It was for like a big moment. It was just to get a big moment. You know, what's the biggest moment you can imagine? Sylvanas burns the World Tree. I don't think there was ever like a big thought about what we would do with those characters after. Like now they're thinking about it. Now we're in 10.2. We're probably gonna see like the new Night Elf home. You know, the new tree is gonna start to grow, and it'll probably grow at a miraculous rate. And somehow by the end of the expansion, Night Elves will have a new city. So I think we're gonna see that now. But you'll notice how we went through all of BFA and all of Shadowlands, and like nobody cared. We were fine to let the Night Elves be transient population in like Stormwind and Gilneas, while like all Night Elf characters kind of like languished. Justin, enjoy your lunch, man. Thanks for hanging out. Some games that have my favorite stories. I'd have to think about that one. Some of them would be Final Fantasy games. Probably like Final Fantasy 7 and 8. I really enjoyed those stories. It's been a long time since I've played like a lot of story-oriented stuff. FF14 has probably like the best JRPG story of like all of gaming. I remember like in my 20s I played Persona 3 and 4 and like I thought those were amazing games. Like I don't know how I would feel like as a 40-year-old, but back when I played them I really enjoyed them. You've never played a FF game in your life? You're probably not a big JRPG fan then. And like some people aren't. Like Final Fantasy games were kind of where I got my start into RPGs. Back on like the SNES. Back with like Final Fantasy 4 and Final Fantasy 6. Yeah, the Persona games are good. There obviously like there came a point in life when like it's hard for me to play a game when the cast is a bunch of like precocious teenagers. It just like you do reach a point in life where you can't really relate as much. And not in those games, like not relating as much equals less immersion. Like I tried to play Persona 5. I just couldn't do it. I can see how the story is probably still like super good. And that's what I say when I played Persona 3 and Persona 4, I was like in my 20s and I was probably like really immature at the time. So like it made sense for me to be able to relate to those teenage characters a lot more. But as I've like, you know, aged substantially, I don't feel like I can engage with those characters and stories the same way. Which I think is fine. Quip, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you hanging out. Quip, I haven't played Stardew Valley, but I watched my wife play about 200 hours of Stardew Valley. She almost completed I think she did complete the entire board. I think she technically beat the game by the metric of beating that game. But I watched her play a bunch of Stardew Valley. I checked out some Shin Megami Tensei games way back in the day. Yeah, back during that same time period, the PlayStation 2 time period, I checked out a couple. They were way out there. I could see like the same influences with the summons were all kind of similar and stuff, but like those games were kind of like, they were conceptually way out there and they were like more complicated gameplay wise. They seemed good, but that was an intellectual property I kind of bounced off of, because they were very, very, very JRPG. They went deep, and I was just not smart enough to play them. Is what it eventually boiled down to. Was I was not smart enough as a gamer to like be a successful Shin Megami Tensei gamer, and I don't think I had the patience required. We're gonna go down here. Oh no! Oh boo hiss! Delete it and go again. Oh, we are quite far. I'm doing these quests in like a weird order. Normally, I don't think I do them in this order. I'm also like not really caring if we get killed, which is quite a relief. Katie, good afternoon. Thanks for being here. My wife's brought me some food, and I may just take a break to eat some of it. Yeah, I may actually take a break. We're at the 2-hour mark. I try to tell myself that if I stream for more than 2 hours, I need to take like a short break. So otherwise, I just get stuck at my desk for too long. There were a couple streams we did that were like 5 hours, 6 hours, where I don't really think I got up. Those were not great for me. Katie, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, good vibes to you. I'm glad that I can do anything to help during a time like that. And thank you for being here. Alright, we're 8 out of 8 for those. We need to be looking for more of the little things on the ground, I think. How many do we need? We need one more. That's not bad. If we head back this way, we should find at least one more. And then I think I'll park it in Dalinar, and I will take a quick break to eat some food and maybe check on my doggos and see what's going on with them. Legend, it's in the. You just open your BattleNet. You should have some drop downs in BattleNet. Firstly, you'll have two different options. You'll have World of Warcraft and World of Warcraft Classic. But even once you here, let me see. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let's try this. Okay. So, like, first thing you gotta do is select this. The second thing you gotta do is come down here. You're gonna have Wrath of the Lich King Classic, and you're going to have Wrath Classic. You wanna have not Wrath Classic, you want Classic Era. So yeah, Wrath of the Lich King Classic Era under the Live Classic section, and then you'll install, that'll be this version of the game. Switch that back, there we go. But yeah, step 1 is install BattleNet. Yeah, install BattleNet, then you'll see the options in the drop downs. And if you need BattleNet, just go to worldofwarcraft.com. You should be able to download it. The PTR is there. It's just hidden. You gotta look hard for PTR. Like, all the in development stuff will always be at the top. It's like almost regardless of what game version you have selected. But that's where it's all at. The WoW Classic Era PTR, like if you're looking for the hardcore, it's under the WoW Classic Era. There will be a server tab at the bottom that will get you into the hardcore PTR. It is definitely some of the best music in the game. Absolutely. Now, you do need to have a sub to play Classic. I don't know if not having an active sub would maybe limit the options you can see, though. That, I am not sure. If you're looking at PTR, though, like, yeah, if you're looking at the PTR, I'm not sure. I'd have to know, like, what exactly you're seeing. It's hard to, I'm used to being able to, like, remote in when I used to do, like, tech support back in the day. I'm used to being able to, like, remote in and see what people see. And then once you can see what the people are seeing, it's, like, super easy to figure out what's wrong, but without having a visual on it, it's, like, incredibly difficult.
Good luck, friend.
Okay. So are you looking for the PTRs? That's weird. Yeah, the fact that you don't see the PTRs is weird. It's always up at the top under the development section. And yeah, the hardcore PTR is just under the regular Classic Era. What am I doing here? These are the Falcons. Let's take it back to Dalinar for now. Maybe we find the Falcons on the way. Maybe we don't. Joel, I knew that. Yeah, Night Elves were trolls that spent too long living on the edge of the Well of Eternity. And over time, the arcane energies changed them. They became ordered. The Titans ordered them against their will, basically. Just like they did the dragons. It turns out that the Titans are kind of actually a bunch of jerks. I don't know if they did it. They probably didn't do that to the trolls on purpose. That was just exposure, but they probably would have. We'll find out one day that they did. And somehow it was their fault. I'm just gonna blame the Titans for everything from now on. Because they're clearly a pack of jerks. It's like 6 dragons were like, yes, we want to become dragon aspects. And then the Titans were like, oh, you want us to make all of your dragon eggs ever from now on be ordered? And then they just did it without consent. Because that's what Titans do. They order things. And they do it whether you want to be ordered or not. Riot, it depends. I mean, Rogue feels super strong. I'm having a fun time on it. It kills things quickly, and you don't have to deal with mana, so you can go from pull to pull without like a lot of downtime, especially like early on. But if you're talking about like endgame stuff, I have no idea. I don't do endgame classic era. The endgame stuff I do is usually in Wrath of the Lich King or like a little bit in retail. All right, guys, I am gonna take a break here. I'm gonna step away for a few minutes. I'll pin a comment so people kind of know what's going on. Let's see, taking a break to eat. And I'll be back in like 7 minutes or so. If you guys want to hang out, I appreciate it. If you gotta go, I appreciate you having been here. Thank you for hanging out. And we will see you when we see you. I will be back soon. Hey guys. Let's see. Who is who? Did a weird thing happen? Am I the weird thing that happened? The thought that I could step away from my own stream and I could miss something is like very interesting to me. Like, I wonder what goes on here when I'm not around. Alright, I think we go after Melanus' head. Actually, let's get the rest of the Falcones and, like, finish that up. Turkey and cheese sandwich, a pickle, and some fries. Some seasoned fries. Thanks to my wife. On my own, I would have feasted on, like, a yogurt and some milk. And that would have had to be sufficient. But I'm very lucky. George, maybe someday. Not anytime really soon, but the thought has occurred to me to like that, you know, if I had like a bigger fan base of people who wanted to play with me, that it would make more sense for me to have a second account to be able to do that. Absolutely. Yeah, it's stamina spirit food. Stamina spirit. Did I see any back here that I ran past? I probably ran past a bunch of Falcones that we needed. Thanks, Amy. Hey, you do it. Can you do it? I wonder if you can do it. Can you click as a mod? Can you click on the carrots there and click on unpinned message, or does not? Can you not do that? And if you don't think you can, I wonder if I could like give you permission to. I thought I gave you the biggest permissions I could. I'll take it down though, and I'll figure out if I can let you. I bet you could pin a comment and then you could take it down. You know what I mean? Maybe you just can't take my comments down. All the permissions. All your permissions are now belong to us. Random night elf in a thong? Where? I didn't see anybody. No Falcone. I'm kind of getting the idea that there aren't a lot of Falcones in this direction, even though Questie seems to think that there are. Or maybe Questie's just not doing a very good job of actually marking where they're actually at. That's a possibility. Here we go. I'll see it in the replay. Alright, fair. Let me look at the timestamp. We are 2 hours and 28 minutes in. I will look for the night elf in the thong. My main classes, or like the classes I enjoy the most. If we're talking about max level characters, then a Pally in Wrath of the Lich King and a Shaman in Retail. But if we're talking about like my favorite classes, then the order goes Warrior, and then Rogue Mage kind of switch. But Warrior on the top of that list. Yeah, losers. Yeah, I know. Right. It shows you where they could be. Right. It's just I checked upon checking a few where they could be and not seeing any. I kind of got the impression that maybe the other direction might have been better for us. What are we doing here? We are going after Gnarlpine Mystics, and we're going after the Emerald, right? Gnarlpine Necklace. Okay. Let's find a better angle of approach. Is it mostly PvE? It's all, if you're talking about endgame stuff, it's all PvE. Yeah, I haven't PvP'd in World of Warcraft probably since the original Wrath release. Me and my friend did a few battlegrounds, a couple times. I've never been a big PvPer. Mainly, I've never been a big PvPer because I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be bad at it. I'm pretty sure I was bad at it then, and I think I'd still be bad at it today. Now, at level 9, am I really going to be able to kill him? It doesn't really matter. Let's try to kill him. Even if we get killed by the other guy afterwards, at least we'll be able to come back and loot. Oh, the other guy's a caster. This may not go that well. Surprisingly, we might be okay. This is not hardcore, correct. Yep. If it was hardcore, I'd have it in the title, and I use a different thumbnail for the hardcore. I try to make it as obvious as I can, yeah. But yeah, this is just regular old classic era on the Mankrik server cluster. Alex, it's not. Don't listen to Alex. It's not PTR. Okay, that's good. We need to kill a few more guys. Mystics, we need 6 more. Nah, I didn't want to aggro all those guys. That was not the plan. Nope. I'm really shocked that no, they seem to have followed us the entire way, which is kind of shocking. I don't know how much farther we can run. This might be a literal, what they call a dead end. Oh no. Look at that. We got rid of them. Yep, absolutely. This is probably like last time on thumbnail worthy. There we go. It's thumbnail worthy. Okay. Let's go. It's a bad posture day. Ugh. You've fallen off it before, David. It's embarrassing. Imagine how I would feel. I've never fallen off the tree, but I got killed out on one of those little limbs during the rogue quest. You do the rogue quest out there, and it spawns a bunch of guys. So I've gotten killed out on one of those, but not because of falling off. If you fall off the tree, you have to spirit res, right? Like you're not getting your body back. It said your target has oh, I picked his pockets. This was the pull where they chased us. Oh my god, I came right back to the same pull. It looked like we had him clear. It keeps looking like he's clear of that other group, but he's not clear. He's definitely just, maybe he's chained with them. Maybe they're like kind of connected together. Back to the branch. Back to the branch. Which rogue spec is my favorite? I don't know them well enough to know. In Classic Era, I have not played a lot of rogue. Now, we got a Wrath of the Lich King rogue to like level 64? And we were rolling combat, so I'm not familiar really with anything in Classic Era, and I'm not even that familiar with the other specs in other eras of the game. It's one of my least played classes. Rogue, Warlock, Hunter are probably my least played classes in any version of the game. And by combat rogue in retail, you mean outlaw. Because remember, we don't have a combat rogue in retail anymore. Because pirates, turns out. Amy, you clipped the dancing night elf. Thank you. I appreciate that. I want to see who it was. Because it was probably somebody, you know. We don't exactly have a lot of options right now. We need mystics. This guy is going to pull all these guys. We could go here. We could take these guys on again. While we wait for things to kind of respawn. But yeah, right now we don't have a lot of choice. Maybe we do take him out first. That did not go as smoothly as the first time. Clockwords, I think you get a lot of opinions on that. Yeah, I think like any race could be good, but like, you know, like a gnome rogue could be good because they're small. So like an undead rogue could be good because they're forsaken. I think a lot of different races could fit really well, like from like a lore perspective. All right, he's far enough away now that he has not aggroed any of these guys, so that's good. If your rogue has to have big shoulders, I would go with a night elf or a human, or potentially an orc, but they're kind of like hunched over, so that's like an aesthetic thing. We are full on inventory. That's not okay. That's not okay, but we're done here also, so that works out. That happens with the add-on, Alex. It's a kid model, but it has an adult voice. Huh. That's interesting. They're usually pretty good. I felt like it was pretty good, like as far as like nailing the race. But yeah, I never encountered that. I didn't use it for very long. That would be a little bit immersion breaking. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, I thought about turning the add-on on for this playthrough and letting you guys listen to the quest. I just don't know if that would be like everybody's jam, and it would definitely slow down progress. Not that it matters to me, but yeah, especially when it kicked on its own, like at the start of the playthrough, I kind of contemplated like leaving it on, letting some of the narrative play out. Ra, welcome to the stream, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, because the voiceover AI add-on is actually really good. And surprisingly, Blizzard has not like put a fork in it yet. And if they haven't killed it yet, I don't want to say that they're going to let it stay around forever, but something's going on, because I think they've killed projects like that in the past pretty quickly. And this one has gained like massive popularity. This is non-hardcore. Yeah, Corey, this is just an immersive run on the Mankrik server cluster.
Ishnuala. Farewell.
Yeah, I'm taking a little break from solo not found hardcore. Just a little break. I don't know if the break will extend all the way until the official hardcore comes out. That's going to depend on when that date is, but I did need to step away for a bit. I was getting quite a bit of fatigue. And I was having massive bouts, because of the fatigue, I was having massive bouts of like ADD and indecision about what I wanted to do. Because it turned out that truthfully what I wanted to do was play vanilla, but I didn't want to have to worry about not getting gear or not being able to use the auction house and stuff like that, so. How many months until they let out the official hardcore? We think it's going to happen at the middle of September. They said summer of 2023, so whatever the last week of summer is, that's when you're going to get official hardcore. So it'll be like September 19th. Yeah, Corey, in Wrath, I found out that I like the new 5-man beta rune heroic plus runs. I found that out last night. They're actually, even though they're mainly just more stress on me, the healer, it's a lot of fun. And the rewards seem like they're pretty decent if you're like a person like me who doesn't have any friends and you don't have a guild. The rewards are pretty good, so I'm going to do more of that. I think tonight I might stream some more of those 5-mans in Wrath. So I'm really happy to have found that too, because like for a long time Wrath has kind of been dead to me. So it was really refreshing to get on there last night and to be able to do those heroic plus runs and to actually enjoy them. Despite even some of the problems that we encountered like during the runs. It was still a really fun time. What I worry about with like the Heroic Plus and Heroic Plus Plus is that like if you level up another character and you don't have gear score, like where do you start? Like you still probably have to start with like some raid gear. The only reason I can do the Heroic Plus Plus is because I have Nax gear and I have some Ulduar gear. But like if all I had was like Heroic 5-man gear, I don't think I'd be able to do the Titan Rune stuff. So I worry about like alts being able to do that content at all. I wonder if they thought that out. A priest is gonna live forever, man. Yeah. Don't fall down an elevator shaft, and you'll live forever. I fell down an elevator shaft on my priest. Otherwise, I felt like they were kind of invincible. I felt like there was at least nothing that we were not going to be able to run away from. Monica, I did great, by the way, even without auras activated. Ouch. It was that like a way of telling me that I did not turn on a single aura? Ouch. Auras in retail? Those aren't useful, right? No one cares about auras in retail, do they? Yeah, I mean, I would not even give them real blessings. So, and I went the entire Trial of Crusader attempt without blessing anybody, and nobody said anything. No one was like, "Kings, please. Wisdom, please." Like, nobody even said anything to me. That's what happens when you don't play a character for months and months at a time. I'll try to remember to click an aura next time, but I do feel like they're ultimately kind of useless. You know what? I'm thinking about retail, aren't I? Are they useful in Wrath? I was thinking about retail for some reason. Got my wires crossed. I'll turn an aura on. Yeah. I guess I didn't realize that you could not have an aura up. And so I guess I just like in the back of my mind probably assumed that like devotion aura must be on, but apparently the auras can be completely turned off. Does that happen upon character death? Does my aura turn itself off when I die, or when I change my spec maybe? I'll have to look into like what would even turn off my aura to begin with. But yeah, and then the first run I didn't do blessings. And then the second run people were dying so much that I could only give them baby kings. Because they were getting murdered so quickly, I didn't have a lot of symbols of kings. So they got baby blessings, like 5-minute blessings. And usually they died before those blessings were up. So that worked out. I think in those runs I'm probably not going to waste the symbols of kings. Not until it feels like the DPS aren't going to just get themselves killed over and over and over again. Because they were definitely fine to do that for like the first half of that run. What I haven't figured out yet with the Titan runes is there any way for me to know what the affix is going to be? Or do we find out once we're in the run, or do I have to look at a list on Wowhead? Because I didn't see anywhere really in the UI or the buffs where it told me what the affix was going to be for the specific dungeon. Like in one dungeon we had tentacles, and the enemies didn't seem to hit a lot harder. And then in the other dungeon we had frost lay down on the floor, and if you stood in it, you died. You had to drag it around till it faded off, and sometimes people got a fire buff, a debuff, but the fire debuff was kind of inconsequential. And I just don't know, like, where do I see that in the game, like when I get into the run. I tried talking to the Titan disc thing, and it doesn't tell me. That was the only weird part that I couldn't figure out. It was a millisecond too late. A millisecond too late on the invite. Well, snap. They tried, you know, they probably clicked it as soon as they could. It was just too late. Alright, well, unfortunately our inventory is full. Like, normally I wouldn't mind grinding here for a minute. But it does kind of suck that we have a full inventory. Is there an auction house add-on that works in classic era? I'm not sure, man. I'm not a huge add-on person. I've never used an auction house add-on myself. I would say do a quick search of Curseforge. You'll probably find out pretty quick if they have one.
Die!
There you go. Looks like you got a couple of options. I don't remember him turning into a cat for some reason. That's cool. You know what? I don't think I've trained level 8. I don't think I trained level 8. Oh, like have backstab on my main bar? Because you don't need to be in stealth, right? There we go, we'll put it up here. Yeah, I often forget, like, we don't have to be in stealth to use this, so like, passive mobs especially, we can just walk up and we can backstab them. Thank you for the call out.
Can I assist you?
Oh, we get evasion. Evasion would have been really useful in a couple of those fights. Yeah. Absolutely. Eviscerate rank 2, you know, just more damage on Eviscerate could have been useful. I don't think I ever grabbed cooking. Let me go ahead and grab cooking. I also have the mail that I sent myself earlier. I sent myself some silvers, like 40 or 50 silver from another character on the realm, and I think it's going to be useful. And I sent some leather as well. And that's all I'm going to send, is just the initial silver and a little bit of leather to get our leather working going.
Till next we meet.
Elune Adore.
What brings you?
Maybe I already learned this. Was it fishing? It was fishing that I haven't learned yet. Yeah. Let's pull this out. I need to be keeping the small eggs I've been selling. Eventually we'll do fishing, and most of our cooking skill ups will be from fishing anyway.
Elune, light your path. In the Titan Rune beta dungeons, just click on any enemy and it will have a buff that will say what the enemy's abilities are. Oh, okay. So even when stuff is being laid on the floor, it's not a thing happening to the dungeon, it's a thing that's happening from the enemy, like from a mob. Okay, thank you. That makes sense. Is that how affixes and Mythic Plus are handled in retail, or are those handled differently? Because yeah, I was thinking of them as like affixes, but maybe I don't have a clear understanding of how that works either.
How may I help? A sharp fellow.
Soul, a dwarf that's kind of bored of looking at Elwyn Forest and Dunmorrow. Yeah, just a bored elf, you know.
I am listening. May the stars guide you.
Yeah, I'm gonna let this go for a minute until it's green, I think, and yeah, that should be a good head start on our leatherworking. I'd like to see a quality of life added for the professions, just to get the bar to move a little bit faster. I'd like the bar to move the way it moves more in retail. I feel like if they need to have it do one at a time, that's fine. It would be cooler if we can just say like, hey, make 67, and it would do it in one click, the way that like New World handles it. Obviously back in like 2004, they probably couldn't do it that way because the server would have too much to process. But it would be really cool if they could speed up this bar just like a little bit, and our talent point. Yeah, we'll do the talent point. And so yeah, we're probably going into combat, but we'll have a look around. So assassination, we get improved eviscerate. Increase your crit strike chance. Finishing moves has a 20% chance to add a combo point to your target. I mean, all of these seem good too. I like the increased damage dealt by the poisons. Improved poisons. I like bleeds and dots and poison damage, especially with my melee guys. This might be fun. So what's going on in combat then? Improved gouge. I don't care about that. Improved sinister strike. Okay, sure. Yeah, obviously, that's like I think you grab this anyway, even if you're going into assassination, you'd probably still want this. And then lightning reflexes increases your dodge. See, like, if I go combat, then like, yeah, this is great. Then I have to spend 3 points in a talent that I don't care about. I guess I'd go here. Like, yeah, more chance to dodge is fine. That's fine. If I come here, I can put 3 points into improved eviscerate. What is this? Killing an opponent that yields experience or honor gives you a 20% increased crit strike chance on your next sinister strike, backstab, ambush, or ghostly strike. And then increase. All of these sound really good. Over here, only this sounds good. Let's look down a bit. Improved backstab. Oh, okay. Like now I feel like even though I'm combat, I have to open from stealth if I grab this. Deflection. Ew. Okay. Ew. Fine. Precision increases chance to hit. Yeah, that's not sexy, but it's necessary, right? And then we have to go into deflection to get riposte. Okay. Well, that's kind of gross. I like riposte because it gives us like a reactionary ability to press. I don't really like having to go so much in deflection. I see why this is the leveling spec because it has a lot of like dodge, deflection, like it has a lot of defensive stuff. Which is probably like in classic era that's like really good for a leveling spec. But it doesn't seem super cool, you know what I mean? Improved sprint, endurance, improved kick, dagger spec, or dual wield spec. If I go into like assassination, we're still dual wielding, right? We're just not going to be as good at it. Or am I only using one dagger as any other spec? How do I feel about the design of these classic trees? I think these are the best iterations of how talent should be handled. It's not overly complicated. The talents, when you read them, they make sense to the human brain. You don't need a calculator, and it's not 6 paragraphs of text the way that they are in retail. Every talent doesn't take 3 abilities and 2 other talents into consideration in its description. So yeah, I think these are the best iteration of talents. This and Wrath. Like, Wrath probably got it, like, a little bit more refined. But yeah, this is better. Johnny, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. So yeah, like, what if I go assassination, am I still gonna dual wield, I guess? That's, like, my only question right now. Your offhand does less damage inherently, and the spec mitigates it. Speccing into that mitigates it. I kind of want to go assassinate. What's going on in subtlety? Reduce the chance enemies have to detect you. Oh, cool. Opportunity. Increase damage dealt when striking from behind. Sleight of hand. Elusiveness. Camouflage. This is an interesting tree, but yeah, we're not going to go this way. Ghostly strike. That sounds cool. You'll always dual wield. Okay, thank you, Clint. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys, I don't know. I think ultimately we have to take this. But I think I might take this and then I might come over here with it. Yeah, I think for now I will do this. But yeah, we'll see after that. And you know, I like to try different specs. And like eventually we're going to be bored with what we're doing and then we'll do something different. So yeah, I'll see. We'll kind of feel it out. Alright, and what quest is this? Take Jannock's Rose to Cerna in Darnassus. Okay. This doesn't feel like a rogue quest, farewell. But we'll do it.
Greetings.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, we get dual wield now. Slice and dice also. We get everything at level 10. The class becomes the class at level 10. Kind of like a hunter gets its pet. Yeah, we just got a bunch of stuff. Slice and dice, I need somewhere I'm going to hit it all the time. Let's see. Sprint can go up here. Sap can go up here. Okay, perfect. George, I may be interested in that. My email is on my my page. If you go to my main page, my email should be there. It's robertrambles@gmail.com. Pretty simple. Hit me up via email, man. I might be interested in that. What I've realized is that I need a screen at the beginning of my streams that has like kind of a timer countdown to like let you guys know when the stream is actually coming live. Because what happens is like YouTube likes to throw up like an ad block right at the beginning of the stream. So when I start my stream, if I start right away, a lot of you guys miss like a chunk of what we're doing in the beginning because of how YouTube runs the ads. And so what I need is a screen where I can have like a screen and some music playing with a little timer, you know, like most people do, that says, hey, stream starting in 15 minutes. And that way YouTube can toss out its little ad block during the waiting screen, and it doesn't have to like toss it out as soon as I go live. So yeah, I might have an interest for that. My wife pointed it out to me today that I need to have a beginning of stream screen that comes on before I'm actually like going and playing. So I need to get that worked out. I need to get that worked out. Okay, what are we doing? I need to focus. I've been really scatterbrained since my break. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. She's really good at that. Absolutely. Alright, so we can come this way. We could fight the Gnarlpine ambushers. We took that quest a long time ago. And then we're just now going to follow up on it. And then we have the Barrow Den, which we could probably do at level 10. I feel like that'd be fine. It's kind of a more challenging place. The stream starts soon. Yeah, Jason, I like that. I don't really like a timer. I hate timers, especially when I'm like timing myself. I'm putting like a, yeah, like I don't like timers. Maybe that's better. Just like it starts soon, and then like some music and whatever's on the screen. Yeah, I gotta get that figured out. It is pretty cool to be in Teldrassil as a dwarf. You know what was weird though that I thought was gonna be cool? Like when I took a Night Elf warrior over to like the human lands, I thought it was gonna be really cool, but it ended up feeling kind of weird. Obviously, like you'd eventually have to quest through places like that on a Night Elf, but yeah, it felt kind of weird. It didn't quite feel as weird as like when you take a Draenei to like Red Ridge in like Wrath or something. But the Night Elf and the human and dwarf lands felt weird. This feels fun. This I like this because it feels different, but it's still good. But the Night Elf was kind of like a sore thumb almost. Right on, man. I appreciate you. I'll keep an eye open for it. Alright, I need to start working in Slice and Dice, because Slice and Dice is basically going to be like our bread and butter. I need another weapon too. Now that I wonder, could I just like equip the skinning knife for now? If I equip the skinning knife, can I still skin with it? Oh, we're doing it live. Do I tend to build my characters in any particular direction? Fun versus effective? Yeah, I'm not a min-maxer, so I will always just kind of read my talents, and I will do like what I think is going to be fun, what I think sounds cool. And I don't often look at guides to build my character, and I hardly ever do what is the most effective build. And that's why I kind of experiment with builds as we play. Like on the Paladin, I think we tried like 4 different builds overall. None of which I got from a guide, but just got by talking to you guys and reading the talents and kind of thinking for myself a bit. You get a green dagger or sword from the first rogue quest. So what should I do with my weapons? Do I want like slow, fast, fast, slow? I always have this question on like dual wield classes. Like what speed do I want in each hand? Let's assume I go down assassination because that looks a lot sexier to me right now. Assume I go down assassination, what do I want in my hands as far as like the speed of my weapons? Using Questie is kind of like following a guide through. I mean, not a guide that tells you what to do when, no. A guide tells you to do steps in a certain order. It says do A, do B, do C, do D. You win. Questie allows you to see where all the quests are at. So you know, like, there's a guy up here that drops an item. You know, we have objectives over here. And then you, the player, you decide what order to do all that stuff in. Like, every time I do a starting zone, I do things in a different order, or I fight guys in slightly different places. And so even though sometimes we do the same content again and again, even with Questie, like, it's different each time. So no, I would say it's not like a guide at all. It's like most modern open world RPGs that'll have like the objectives on the map. You know, like you open up The Witcher and you see like all the points of interest and stuff. I think of it more like that. Whereas the Rested XP add-on is a guide. That's it. Look at that for comparison. Yeah, if you're wondering, is Questie a guide? It's not. And you can see that most evidently by looking at an add-on that is a guide, which is the Rested XP add-on. I don't recommend you download it at all, but if you wanted to see an add-on that was truly a guide in the way that you're indicating, then you want to look at that for comparison. Then you'll see what I mean. Offhand needs to be fast. Main can be slower because we're using instant abilities. Alex says, yeah, even following the guide, people are still dying in hardcore using it. Yeah. So, you know. A guide is synonymous with a rail. And, like, however you play Classic, if you're not on a rail. Like, you can do a lot of things in any order that you want, for the most part. You have a lot of leeway in how you approach things. Alright, we are actually done with these guys. Let's go turn this one in. And then the last thing we have over on this side of things is to go into the Barrow Den. We do have a couple of breadcrumbs though taking us to Darnassus. So, let's see. 40 minutes left on the Hearthstone. Let's go to Darnassus. We're halfway there. And we'll turn in our breadcrumbs and then we'll head back out. I think we also have a quest to pick up in the Temple of the Moon. So, let's go grab all this stuff. Oh, not that way though. We want to get out of this little ravine, see if we can get back to the surface. Let's pop in at the Leatherworker and see if we can learn any patterns. That was kind of the reason I sent myself a little bit of silver, was so that I didn't have to worry about going broke buying like the early leatherworking patterns. I suppose that selling the millions of armor patches would be a good idea too. Let's go ahead and maybe we apply them to ourselves.
Ishnu Dal Dieb. Farewell.
Thank you for that, Clint. That's a good explanation. I appreciate that. Patrick, we're doing leatherworking and skinning, and then we're also doing like the tradition, like the cooking, the fishing. We're gonna do all that stuff. Speaking of fishing, I feel like I trained fishing, but yeah, here we go. We did train it at some point. I just never grabbed a fishing rod. I'll worry about that later. For now, let's go get these turned in and pick everything up. Yeah, Layla, I hear the low-key drums going on right now. I can't say I remember this either, but I don't spend a lot of time here at all. It's a really cool looking city. I don't not like it. It's a little hard to get around because of the water, but I love the architecture.
How may I help? Dear Leatrix,
We have a quest that is beneath us? Aha, maybe over here. Then again, maybe, yeah, it has to be this, I guess.
I am honored. Good luck, friend. How may I help? Farewell. Elun adore.
Yeah, the Draenei and the Blood Elf areas did a lot to like give people good quest rewards. Basically, once those areas existed, you only wanted to level up there. And I don't think it was until Cataclysm that they went back and they put like good drops into the other zones.
Ishnu Daldiek. May the stars guide you.
Yeah, the Blood Elf starting area is one of my favorites. I mean, the music, the ambience, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, just having the buildings that seem to go like so high up into the air, so unlike any of the other architecture in the game at that point. Even though like a lot of them were not buildings you could like go up and explore, just like physically having them there. The autumn kind of ambience and feel of it was really nice. It was like a spring and autumn mixture. That felt really good. I like the Draenei area too. I think the Azure Mist Forest is like a really chill, really atmospheric forest that like it isn't like a dark vibe and it isn't like a bright vibe. It's somehow like it somehow becomes this like tranquil, like twilight vibe. So I like the Draenei areas also, but the Blood Elf areas are better. The Blood Elf areas were better. Yeah, the story told throughout the zones is also good. To this day, I don't think I've finished Blood Mist content. I don't think I've ever done a full Blood Mist playthrough. I don't know why. I really like the zone. I think I get onto characters there that I fall out of touch with. The last one we had was we have a level 17 Draenei Shaman parked in Blood Mist, like halfway through the questing there. Yeah, I've never seen the conclusion of the Draenei areas, which is really crazy when you think about it. I probably should do that sometime. Do I want to go up here yet? Level 9? Yeah, we could probably just go up here and do this stuff. We don't have to go down into the Barrow Den right now. However, I feel like there's another quest over here somewhere. To like find a lady's cat or something. Or to talk to a tree. There's something. You know what? I think we need to do these first. Right? Yeah, I'm like, there's a better order to do this in. I just don't know what it is. I think we come down here. We come down here and do these. We talk to the tree here. Yeah, indecision. I don't know this zone like super well. I think I'm gonna come down here first, then make our way back for the turn-ins, and then we head back out. Greylegs, good afternoon, man. It's been a while. Thanks for being here. Having a 5-year-old eats up the days. Yeah, I understand that. Hey buddy, what's up? You wanted to say hi to chat and stuff? Fair enough. You brought Gardevoir? Awesome. I think some people probably know who Gardevoir is. The birds look really cool.
Now I know where cats are.
Yes, but can you read them?
Not at all.
Right, exactly. That's the important part. You try to get your stuffy like all the screen time?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The Gardevoir wants to say hi. Trying my best to make Gardevoir sound really good. I'm trying. I hope you guys have fun watching that. And I hope
Thanks, buddy. I'll see you in a little bit. Does my son play WoW? He's 8. He has played WoW. He has like a level 5 human mage in Classic. He's not at a point where he can like read all the quest objectives clearly yet, so it's a little bit challenging. I showed him how to use Questie and kind of like head towards the objectives, but yeah. You know, he's 8, so he likes playing Minecraft and Pokemon and stuff like that. He plays WoW sometimes, but obviously it's an old person game, so it's probably not like super interesting except to watch me play it. I just now figured out the tentacle thing. I had to say it in my head over and over again before I figured it out. I get it now, and it is funny. Tentacles. Okay, yeah, I get it. I got it now. But obviously, like, my son got it first. Michael, none of the hardcore characters are dead. No, they're all alive and fine. But I got kind of burned out of solo not found hardcore. I mean solo self-found hardcore, and so I took a little break. Yeah, we're on a little hiatus from hardcore. Yep. I've realized a lot of different things about hardcore. Like I had the realization that you really don't want to play a melee class in solo self-found. You really want to play a caster because at least then you're always going to get new like ranks of spells that are going to deal more damage, whereas if you are using a weapon, you're never going to find a weapon. And so your DPS is going to get worse and worse as the playthrough goes. So yeah, after having a couple of realizations, I realized most of all that I needed to take a little break. But that I didn't want to take a break from Classic Era, so we are playing on the Mankrik cluster. Solo self-found means that you can only equip gear that you find yourself. So you get it from a quest, you pick it up off the ground, you loot it from from a boss. But you can't use the auction house, basically. You can't use the auction house, and the way they do hardcore on Bloodstone Buccaneers, you can only run a dungeon once. Not once a day, like the official rules are going to be, but you can only run a dungeon one time. And so, you know, you do a dungeon, if you don't get the loot you want, you're never going to have another chance. So yeah, you can't group up in the open world at all, so you can't do any of the elite quests with a group. It just makes it really impossible to get gear for a melee character. And melee characters are the characters that I tend to enjoy the most, with the exception of maybe the Frost Mage. So yeah, you could do the dungeons. You could do them one time each. And we all know how loot drops. You're not going to get the gear you need doing a run one time. This concept was community created. A bunch of community people, like big streamers and stuff, got together and made an add-on and made up some rules. Yeah, in WoW we used to have like an Iron Man challenge and a Green Man challenge back in the day. And Iron Man meant you only equipped white gear. And green man meant you only equipped up to green gear, and that was kind of the hardcore challenge, was like gear based. And then like, you know, 1 death, whatever. Single life character. But then a bunch of people got together and they made up a bunch of arbitrary rules, and they made an add-on for it. And then they made it really popular on Bloodsail Buccaneers server. And so now we're all following the made-up rules of a handful of people who just happen to grow large streaming audiences. Yeah, Felipe, I enjoyed my time in retail too. I've really enjoyed leveling up through the retail. Leveling up our Void-Elf Warlock has been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed learning the class, and I've enjoyed revisiting some of the old world zones, and I'm looking forward to taking the character into Dragonflight content. Yeah, Michael, we have no news. You know, the last news we got was weeks and weeks and weeks ago when they told us what the server rules were going to be. And then they opened up the PTR. We're kind of we're guessing that we're not going to get it until whatever the last week of summer is. So if we look at the calendar and we find the last week of summer, which will be like September, middle of September, and we look at the Tuesday or Thursday in that week, it'll be that Tuesday or Thursday of the last week of summer. So September 19th, I would say. Sometime around September 19th.
How may I help?
But they're probably not going to tell us till they're a couple weeks out, you know?
Goddess, watch over you.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, there's no news to hear about. Like, all they have left to tell us is when the servers go up, and like, yeah, they don't want to tell us that. I think right now they're trying to let retail kind of take the center stage. They want people playing retail, so they've done a lot of things that have killed hardcore community. Probably in the hopes that they'll get people to move back to retail for a little while, spend some money in the in-game shop. Jason, if they have extra maintenance for tomorrow, it's probably a retail thing. But I'm not sure. I didn't see anything. Patrick, have a good rest of your day, man. I appreciate you being here. We need to find the lady on the road patrol so we can turn that one in. Operation, I'm not even going to think about it anymore until they give us a date. And then I'm probably not going to decide until the day before. Yeah, I just don't see a lot of reason to think about it or care about it right now. I'm much more interested in like what my next retail class is going to be after I finish the Warlock. You know, I'm much more interested in what I'm doing here. And like basically right now, I'm not thinking about it, I'm not caring about it. It's gonna be literally 7 weeks away, so like there's absolutely no reason for anybody to think about it or care about it right now. I would recommend everybody do what we're doing, like either go play some regular classic era, or go level up a character in retail and see how that experience is. Or jump into Wrath and play some of the new beta Rune Titan Stone Heroic pluses, if you're in a spot to do that. Cause yeah, I think it's a good time to let hardcore kind of rest. Yeah, let it rest for a bit and let it cool off and see if when the hardcore servers do open up in 7 weeks, if there's still a big interest in it or not.
I am honored.
Nah, hardcore till I mean, yeah, I got burned out, you know. That's just all that. When I realized that I wasn't gonna be able to play a melee character in solo self-found, you know, when I realized that like a mage, I would have probably been able to complete a mage's journey by now. Had it been a mage, we probably would have been 60. And once that really sunk in, it felt pretty bad. I felt really stupid for like just not realizing any of that earlier, and that felt bad as well. So yeah, I bounced off.
Goddess watch over you.
Belle, thanks for being here. Yeah, it has been a long time, hasn't it? Thanks for checking out the stream. That's awesome. Will I eventually return to my paladin? Yeah, I think so. I think so. I don't know. Pally is a boring class. Yeah. But in hardcore, it's super survivable, so it has that trade-off going on. But yeah, the rotation is boring, the combat is boring. You know what would be really not boring? If I had an amazing two-handed weapon, and it just crit people all the time, right to their face. That's what would be not boring. But the problem is we're dealing so little damage, because our weapon was a mediocre green quest item from 10 levels ago, that we're dealing so little damage. Even when we're fighting green enemies, I spend like half my mana to kill the thing, you know? And so if I had been on a mage, most of our damage would be coming from the ranks of our spells, which would have nothing to do with the fact that we have no gear on. And it would have been so less impactful. And then the same thing with the warrior. So yeah, then we started up a warrior. And my thought was like, well, the warrior is going to have the same problem that the paladin has in a different way. And the warrior's not going to be able to keep itself healed. What do I think about shaman? I think I'd have to play horde side, and like frankly right now for me that kind of sucks. Yeah, I'd love to be a shaman. If I could be an alliance shaman, that would probably be like 100% locked in. Like if I could be a dwarf shaman in classic era, then yeah, that'd be great. I don't really want to play horde side, I don't think. Now in 7 weeks that could be different. That's kind of why I'm not really making any plans for official hardcore. I spent 18 years on the horde side. I didn't really get to play alliance side until classic came out, because my friend was horde when I started playing, because like more real life friends were horde, because my guild was on the horde side. I never got to really play alliance until 2019 when classic came out. That's why my very first character in classic was a night elf rogue. You know, it was a faction and a race that I had really never gotten to play. So like coming to the horde would not be coming to the dark side, it'd be going back. And I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready. But yeah, I think that whatever I do in official hardcore, it'll probably be a caster, unfortunately. I thought like, you know, enhancement shaman would be cool. I feel like we talked about it earlier, like even with the ability to use the auction house and even with the ability to do dungeons more than once we're level 45, there's not going to be that many people level 45, so there's not going to be a lot on the auction house that's not like severely marked up in price, and there aren't going to be a lot of people down to do dungeons at that level. So I still feel like even in Blizzard's version of hardcore, we're still going to run into a severe item and gear drought in the level 40s. Now what won't happen is we probably won't be 3 levels behind where we should be quest-wise. Like that hit the pally pretty hard too. Like not doing any of the elite quests, not doing any dungeons to try to stay safe. It really set us back experience-wise, like by about 2 or 3 whole levels, I would guess. And so yeah, so in Blizzard's version, like that part of it wouldn't be as bad. Like the paladin would be at a point where we could be questing pretty easily in like the Searing Gorge. But yeah, I think I'll have to go caster. Which for me means a mage or a priest, because we know that we're not doing a warlock again. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. But ultimately, I think like right now there's not a big reason to really worry about it or think about it. I'd say don't think about it until they give you a date. You know, don't get too hyped until they're telling us like when this is gonna happen, because so far it's just, you know, there's been no news about anything classic. Every week I check Wowhead and I kind of wait thinking like maybe this will be the week that they tell us anything cool about Classic. Could we get a little teaser about like the next season, or do we really have to wait till BlizzCon to hear about a season of Classic WoW? And it does feel like they're holding off till BlizzCon to tell us that. I bet they wish they could hold off on Hardcore until BlizzCon, but they've locked themselves in for the summer. And they locked the new season in, they said it would happen by the end of the year, by the end of 2023. So I think we'll see an announcement at BlizzCon for the new season, and the season will drop like a week after BlizzCon. It'll be really quick for the hype. They'll be like new season of Mastery, and then the release date very soon. It'll be the next week, and people will be like all excited, unless they realize it's just another experience buff. But yeah, those are some predictions. That's really all I've got. Guys, that is all I've got for now. We've been at it for almost 4 hours. It's been really fun hanging out with you guys. I really enjoy like the stress, less stress in Hardcore. I can die, we can make mistakes. I feel like I can focus more on like the conversations we're having, and that's awesome. Because I love talking WoW with you guys and talking about video games and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you guys for being here. I'm going to stop here for today. I might be back on later. I want to do some Titan Beta Rune Heroic ++++ runs on the Paladin on Wrath. So if you guys are interested in that, keep an eye open for the scheduled stream. And yeah, thank you again, guys. I really appreciate you all being here. Until next time, take care of yourselves out there and take care of each other. And we'll see you back here again very soon. Bye for now.